Grinch.
Yo, drop the beat, Johnny. Drop the beat. Drop the beat. Because we're listening to a stinky boy right now.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a very Merry Christmas episode of the BuzzBoys Podcast. And this week I am joined by...
Oh, I was going to do a spoiler.
no, we gotta be careful on spoilers.
I was going to do another one.
Come on.
Ned.
Ned, alright. Over here on my left.
Green Gobby. That's not a spoiler.
That's not.
That's alright, Green Gobby.
9-inch Nick.
Oh, he did it. He did it again.
More.
He did it again. I don't know where he gets his stuff.
The Detroit Lions and the New Orleans Saints, because of them, Packers are in first place.
Oh,
Wow.
shut up.
Because Cardinals lost the Lions, clowns, and hey, the Bucks were scoreless against the Saints.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
nothing.
insane. Oh, shout out to the Rappers for losing to the Packers.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ravens?
Yeah.
That was actually a close finish.
Yeah.
But alright,
The Ravens are
alright.
the Rappers.
But anyway, so a Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes.
And we're going to be
Oh, yeah.
opening
Merry Christmas.
a
Merry
Chilling
Christmas.
Rain pack this time and an Evolving Skies.
Pretty
John
Dragon
has
Ball.
the Evolving
I only go with
Skies.
Chilling Pain only because, chilling, seasonal, wintertime.
Exactly.
Merry Christmas.
It is
As you can
Christmas.
tell by our background,
Merry
very
Christmas.
Very festive.
festive. Very
Happy
festive.
Christmas.
Merry and festive.
Very festive.
Massive.
Alright, so let's get into these packs. Let's see what we got. What do we?
Done.
What kind of card do we have over here?
Green or white?
What kind of card?
I think this pack's got it.
Whoa.
Oh, he's got a white.
Dang, so six.
Well,
Six
no,
over
no.
here?
Oh, well.
Oh, there's a white over here.
Ah,
Green, another one. Oh
Dude,
my
I'm getting
God.
my shit rocked. But I've been very spoiled with packs over the last couple weeks.
Mhm.
So it's okay. Everyone's
I
gotta
would
go
like
through
to
a slump.
make a small thing. If you get a really good card here, I want to see more Chilling Rain.
Ooh,
Uh
okay.
oh. All
Alright,
right.
yeah, if I get a really good card, I will open an Elite Trainer box of Chilling Pain.
Alright, so what are we considering?
Altar or VMAX?
Okay.
Okay. Alright.
Alright,
That's
ready?
a really good card.
All right. Let's see it.
Fire.
Electric.
Water.
They're dark every time.
Ready?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh,
Psychic and electric.
Ooh, I got pushed.
All right. Let's see him.
Hypno. Oh, whoa.
Round.
Scraggy.
I'm actually like.
Feebas.
No, this.
Feebas. That's
Yo,
Break
hey.
the streak.
That-
You're gonna
That's a glow up Pokemon.
Let's
that
see
is
John
a
break
glow
the
Pokemon,
streak.
just like Magic. That's the Magikarp of its time.
see
Yeah.
John break this bad luck streak. Let's see it.
Reverse
hollow.
I had a hollow
Oh.
Tauros.
Oh, he had a hollow Flabébé.
Oh, this is bad.
Wait,
This is
Okay, we have to
tough,
bring this
Cole.
to the judges here.
Wait, first show me real quick so
I
that
don't
way we
think
see
so.
what we're
I
dealing
think
with.
you won.
So let's see. We have a
see.
hollow
We-
Tauros.
Wait,
and
but I have
a
a
Weezer.
preferred, but it's not
Let me see
hollow.
these ones real quick before you review. So we have a Take on Flame and a
I like that one.
Reverse Hollow.
Dude,
cool,
that
man.
Tauros is sick.
Yeah.
It's like hitting something, so that's cool.
I'm
Yeah.
getting my
Oh.
freaking shit.
Oh, also,
16 to 10.
since it's Christmas time, this is why you won.
Yeah.
What? God damn it.
What is it? Let me see.
Cast form.
What is
The ice cast form.
Oh, the
Snowy
ice
form?
cast
I don't have-
form.
Yeah.
You don't have snow?
Yeah,
Oh,
alrighty. 16
to
to
10.
10. John, how do we feel
What do you have
about
to
this?
say for yourself, John?
Dude, I'm just trying to get a good pack for Christmas. That's all I want, Simon. Just give me a good pack for Christmas.
Ooh, just a good pack.
Shit.
Ooh.
Nick, any advice for John to break this streak?
You
Pucks
know what
deep?
they say? Yeah, just get pucks deep, pucks in the net. You hate to see it. Sometimes someone's got to wear it, and right now it's you. So.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
you heard it here.
Sucks
Matt,
to suck.
how we feeling with that
So what
strong
if I
lead
cry?
right now?
It wasn't my strongest win, but a hollow's a hollow.
And a win's a win.
Win's a win. Standard is the standard.
And Dom, do you want John to break the streak? What's going on? How are you feeling with the current standings?
I didn't
Yeah,
want
I'm
him to
gonna-
break the
I'm
streak
gonna update
today
the,
because I wanted Matt to go back to Chilling Rain. Because
Uh-huh.
I feel as though they didn't do very good with Chilling Rain the first time.
But
Mhm.
we. Alright.
Killing Rain's redemption arc.
True things are going to be said. I don't think we gave Chilling Rain a fair shot.
Whoa,
I don't know. I feel like
my.
it's the opposite.
It was.
Because
It was
didn't
ATP. We
didn't
both
you
did
get
it.
together? Yes, you beat
Oh,
Gavin,
Bree?
That was my best.
But
bet.
B, don't be so
but,
coy.
but check this out.
Don't be so coy.
Oh, cool.
She's
Yeah,
very
go on.
clever. But check this out. I
He's
didn't
koi
like
fish.
the boxes that I opened, so I don't even know if I want to go back still. So I don't know. It's still painful for me. It's very cold there.
So it's still chilling pain.
chilling pain. It's
Still chilling pain.
Still chilling pain.
Still chilling
I
pain.
said what I said.
Well, alrighty. Well, hopefully, maybe some luck goes John's way. Because Jesus, that streak is feeling heavier and heavier every week.
Yeah, I know. My back is like slowly crunching
Yeah,
under the weight of all these losses.
Sounds like you need your back popped. But anyways, alrighty. So that's gonna be it for our Pokemon segment.
Like, do you
So
realize
we're
that,
gonna go
like,
ahead
you
and
can't tie
cut.
it until February? That's how long. That's how far off.
Oh damn!
You have to
You'd
like.
have
I
to
got
win
2 months.
straight.
You have to win 6 straight. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's 6
to
weeks.
tie it for February.
Jeez.
Was
How
your
many have I
deficit that
lost?
big? Was your deficit that? You had a pretty
No.
fat one though.
No, I was.
like 4.
It was 8-3 at one point for.
Yeah.
Oh,
John.
okay.
You know, you
Damn,
could pull.
so like I
I
won
just went
2
on a
and then I've
long-
lost like every single one after that.
I just went on a run right now.
Jesus, I'm getting fucking wrecked.
You're getting
Well,
rinsed.
let's hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe we can have a Christmas miracle.
Hey, here.
Oh,
hold on.
no.
Let's
That's
get
all
a
I
look
can
at
offer.
everyone's Christmas.
And a
Oh,
last
yeah.
look at everybody's Christmas sweaters.
Yeah.
Down with the shocky
I
shot.
think Don
very
might have
happy
chose
choice.
one.
This is
Yeah.
actually not mine.
It's
Oh.
it's hot
This
days.
Wee little.
Shout out, Drew.
I got a little moose.
Oh, that was
Oh,
actually
this
sick.
is so sweet.
It's so
Is this yours?
This is actually
Yeah,
hot.
that's
It's
also
not a
mine.
moose. It's a reindeer.
That's also mine. Yeah, that's what I said.
I just hate him. That literally looks like a moose to me.
But alrighty.
Hey, maybe same, but different.
Maybe. Yeah.
No.
But alrighty, so let's go ahead and get everybody here. Everybody,
Don't fly.
Merry Christmas, everybody, because next week
Merry
is
Christmas.
New Year's. So Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
everybody.
Happy
Woohoo!
New Year.
All right, so right here, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Everybody, wave goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Damn, dude, I'm getting wrecked.
Yeah, you really are.
I'm
You need to-
getting
You know,
rinsed.
you could. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
I
I'm
don't-
getting taken to the cleaners.
I don't make the rules of this like duo, but you could like probably pick some special packs. You know, like really carefully pick them. But I mean, you never know what's gonna be in them. So,
Oh, like-
you know.
Just
Don't you dare say
Alright.
you mean wait.
I'm gonna start bringing some like
Oh.
fastballs, and I'm gonna go find some evolutions.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
My.
I'm gonna go
Well, now
find
you
some
just told your
evolutions.
strategy to Matt, though. So
Yeah.
he might just
I know, yeah, but
That's
like
so
he's
funny.
gonna be
But
there with
he's
me.
gonna go. He already has the
Yeah.
lead, so like he doesn't really need it.
I don't know.
Swear to God,
But
I
if he
had
wants to
that.
be greedy and
I don't
play
have
that
that.
game, he
and
can.
go and find some too.
Yeah.
That'll be
He
a
absolutely
little.
can.
Nah,
That'll be a
me too.
little rude.
I don't
But-
need to.
Alrighty, so since we're still off of the topic of Pokemon, recently they dropped a new Arceus, Pokemon Arceus trailer, which gives a little bit more detail in the world of Arceus, since it is actually coming out very, very soon.
Yeah.
What's the release date on
It's
that?
around the corner.
Is it in January or
It's
I think
mid-January. I think it's like
Yeah.
the 13th or the 14th.
It's all closer than I thought.
Yeah,
But yeah,
which is
alright.
exciting because
Yeah.
I'm down for another Pokemon game.
Yeah, so the release date is actually going to
Something
be
different.
the end of January, the 28th.
Even though it's not going to be a
January
completely
28th.
open world.
And they basically released a little bit more information. The fact there's going to be a lot of more cosmetics. Not only that, but there's now like clans apparently that you
Yeah.
can like kind of help out and or
Mhm.
side with. There's the Diamond clan and the Pearl clan,
Yep.
which is interesting. to
Which
see.
is sick.
There's a lot
You
of
know,
different
very good reference.
characters that are going to be
Yeah,
introduced
a
in
lot
this
of
one
characters.
too.
And then last week we talked about the what's it called, the Voltorb.
Oh yeah,
variant.
yeah.
With the eyebrows.
And
that's
I'm
their
sure
change. They
that
just give it
they're
eyebrows.
gonna give us a lot more variants as well. But also, a cool thing about this game, that a fan favorite, Cynthia, apparently there's gonna be a character that I think we're gonna meet that's like a part of her bloodline.
Oh.
Oh,
So,
great
like-
great grandma.
Great grandpa.
and what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And what?
ancestor. Shit.
I'm sorry.
Oh, an ancestor.
Now that we're off camera, I gotta tell you
Yeah,
something.
you can. I mean,
Oh,
you're wearing
dude,
a
put it-
jacket under
Put it over
so-
your jacket.
Yeah, well, I was just planning on wearing it real quick, but
Yeah.
that shit got
No, you're
hot.
But yeah, so very new, exciting trailer. It's
Yeah.
curious to see more and more. We're getting closer and closer. I mean, like we're already at the end of the year, pretty much. So
Yeah.
like if, we just have basically one more month, and then
Yeah.
there's Arceus. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty much
Yeah, I
hyped
know.
for it.
I'm
So
down.
exciting
I'm
to see.
I'm down to clown with this game.
But other than that, anything else you guys want to talk about it in terms of Pokemon? We're good.
I think we're good. Oh, for the next cards and packs that we're going after is the Altar Evolutions one, so that's where that cozy Flareon.
Oh, that's
also
right.
is.
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys are so
but it's
cool.
like
Yeah.
coming out in like a promo box. That's the only way that
Yeah.
you can get it. But this box we are trying to
kind of like
keep
this.
our eyes out for it.
Kind of like this past month, though. I feel that both of us have taken a little break from chasing the cards this couple weeks, but
I mean, because
gonna
we
get
got
back on.
holiday shopping.
Yeah,
and stuff like
no.
that
So
too
it's
anyway,
like
so.
you gotta be
Gotta-
gotta be smart with it.
People are so greedy.
Can't be a
Gotta-
Pokemon
presents
degenerate.
and
yeah.
shit.
Honestly, though, those are pretty good gifts when you think about it. Like getting
Pokemon
a booster
cards?
box.
I feel like that's a crazy good gift for someone who collects.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, for
That's
sure.
great.
Yeah,
But
amazing.
alrighty. So next, we're gonna go ahead and get into my homework this week. I had some really goofy but classic ones.
Goofy. Well, dude, the second one I thought was incredibly goofy.
Oh, dude.
It's in 1966, man.
No.
No.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah.
Grandma got.
So let's
Ran
start
over
with
by a
let's start
reindeer.
with the classic then. Let's start with
I actually really like this one.
the all-time
Yeah.
classic.
All time.
Many of you have seen it, as kids, of course. Like I'm sure many of you at home as well. But it's called The Grinch. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yes.
The original one that came out in 63, I guess.
66.
Or in 66. Made by Chuck Jones and among other people, one of the most famous animators of the time who worked on like Bugs Bunny and stuff like that at the time. Man, what a classic, and also like classic songs in this one. This is utterly like the animation is kind of lasted, honestly. In my opinion,
like I was gonna say that it's not very dated.
It's a very
as bad as I thought it'd be.
a timeless kind of classic, and I feel that way about a lot of the Dr. Seuss kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it kind of works well, and very different, than of course the live action starring Jim Carrey. That one's also
That's all I was thinking about was like just that dude just playing the Grinch and like but like going back to this one just. The guy played it so well.
Isn't it crazy to think of though? You know what I mean? Like, because other than the book, like there really wasn't any other information on the Grinch other than the animation. You know, so it's like he literally had to come up with the whole like
you talking about Jim Carrey?
Like,
the
persona.
And actually, like, little fun fact, he almost quit the movie. He didn't want to keep doing it because putting on makeup was like a 10-hour process, and he just couldn't do it anymore because it was like every day for 10 hours just putting on makeup. So he almost just quit, but then he ended up just was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stick it through, and thank God, because that's honestly a funny ass movie.
I've actually never seen that one.
I'll fucking die.
I know Sorry.
That is not very Christmas spirit of you. You have to be nice around this time.
Not if I put it on my Santa wish list.
Whoa.
Oh, that's bananas.
Whoa.
He said it, but
At that point, it's on Santa.
Oh, spin zone.
But
What's up, Sam?
anyways, so let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and run through the plot. Basically, we run into Whoville, which is a town in the middle of like a snowy mountain.
Yeah.
Snowflake.
Off in the nowhere. They're not necessarily humans either. They kind of look a little
Like
wonky.
rats.
Yeah, they look like rats.
I was gonna
basically.
ask you guys,
And then
what
just-
are they?
A
They're
bunch of
who's?
They're who?
a bunch of
Well,
cheerful.
yeah.
They actually live in a
Bastards.
snowflake. Like,
Bunch
they
of
actually
cheerful
live in a
bastards.
snowflake.
Yeah, they live
What?
inside a snowflake.
Yeah,
No
it's not
way.
a joke, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
they
what
live.
would you
They
say?
live
They live in a
inside a
snowflake.
snowflake.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't-
in the live action one anyway.
I didn't know there
well,
was.
technically in the animation one.
In the
too.
animation one too,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
I didn't know that there was all this lore for the Grinch.
They're kind of.
That's a weird thing. That's like the weirdly interesting thing is that like people have really pulled a lot of lore from this original cartoon, which is like really cool. But like, damn, it just goes to show how far this special has gone over the years. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But alrighty, so let's get into it. So we get the Who's. We get introduced to the Who's, and they have this all sort of twisty like architecture. It's very like curvy, very twisty, very rounded. We get the Who's who are playing with toys, and basically at this point the Grinch is like monologuing.
Yeah.
He's like explaining who the Who's are.
Some of the most bonkers toys, by the way.
Yeah, and a lot of musical stuff and like a
Yeah.
lot of like twisty and like ridey kind of stuff that they're just like
Yeah.
rolling around on. What was your guys' out of curiosity, out of the like toys and stuff that you guys saw, what was your like favorite you think, or one that like really stood out to you? Like I'll give you mine. Mine was like the one where it looked like a bike, but it was like a huge like
Yeah,
and
had
there
a
was like
huge
instruments and
yeah.
stuff on it. Yeah, I like that one. I was like, damn, I was the guy on the drum, just like whatever.
I was gonna say the drum thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the
But-
dude on the tuba.
Oh yeah. What do you think?
No, I think it was the guy that literally just. I think he was on like a unicycle or something. I don't know what the fuck he's on, but he was like just like slapping his drum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
gotta
guess
go
that
with
was
that
weird
guy
Motion
man.
too. It
Yeah.
was like I Am Fish like motion.
Yeah.
Like, weird fucking. It was okay.
And then after that, we basically come up to the Grinch, where after he explains that. Basically, all they do is make a bunch of noise. Like they just eat their food, they play with their toys, they shine their lights in their trees, and
just a bunch of cheerful bastards.
I know that's
so happy, sons of bitches.
And that's exactly how the Grinch says it too. He's like, they make all this noise, noise. And then we get introduced to the Grinch. So and they explain he basically just has. Apparently a heart condition. He's just his heart is tiny.
Yeah, 3 sizes too small.
3 sizes too small. Tiny ass heart.
Exactly.
Bad heart. Yeah.
Would not be Secretariat.
No.
Secretariat's got massive heart.
Giant heart.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see the little what's it called? The X-ray comes in.
It's all shriveled up too.
And then
it's cool. Dude's gonna die.
After that, we get introduced to Max as well, which is they never really explain either how he gets Max, where Max comes from, why they're even so close.
They explain that in the live action movie or no?
No, they don't either, which is really interesting. Yeah, he's just kind of
he's just always been there.
But he's just a diehard companion though, dude.
Yeah.
His dog would do anything for Grinch. Yeah.
He was helping him sew the suit and everything.
His fucking fingers.
And also the Grinch was kind of mean to him though too.
Well,
he's a mean person.
Yeah.
But what an interesting thing. So he decides to have a plan of ruining Christmas for everybody because so what would you guys feel like? Do you feel like he's more annoyed than anything, or do you feel like they just don't understand, or he thinks they don't understand the meaning of Christmas? Why do you think the Grinch is pissed? What if you guys had to come up with a reason?
I just think that he's not happy and he doesn't want to see them happy.
Okay,
yeah, I think that's
the
main.
He wants to share he wants to share the sadness. We're not talking about the live action, just this one.
Yeah.
Well, they die based on the message on this one.
the live action.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's
more
easier,
sense.
more explained, but
Yeah,
no. But you think it's like that, or do you think it's more of a material thing that they just care about?
I think it's a combination.
I'm gonna go with what they gave us, that he just has a small heart.
Ooh.
Okay.
No, but I actually think that it's that he's a guy that's alone and he doesn't get this big ass kind of Christmas cheerful being around family and stuff, and he's and then there's this town that he always sees they're always having a good time, but he's never there, so that's why he's all grumps.
Yeah,
interesting.
So
that makes
I
sense
think
for me.
Just like what Dom said, that he just wants them to be grumps because he's grumps.
Yeah.
And I like how they don't explicitly
just want to see the
tell
world
you
burn.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of really pull your own sort of explanation from it, which is kind of nice. That's a very important thing, especially when it comes to a kid's story.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yo, but it did freak me out once they all just got in a circle and they started.
Yeah, I know. And then there's a point that they did it again at the end of this episode thing, because they did it again, but it was around a star looking thing, and then it kept going up.
Oh yeah,
what are they doing?
I know. Yeah.
What was that? Because at first I thought it was a campfire, but then it started floating. I was like, yo, something's going on with this Whoville, dude. What?
That was
that's some cult shit.
The Who's Bespoke.
That was their way of saying material doesn't matter. Christmas is about love. So that was their.
I know.
That's how the Grinch was wait, I get it.
That was their love and affection.
I get that part.
It was just in a cult way.
I just don't understand why they had to do it that way.
Well, they do live in a snowflake, so.
There's a lot going on.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
Dude, and I love how cynical they really make the Grinch too. To even to the point where it's you know what? We're gonna even put him in the red hat and the red shirt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's such a small cool detail to have thought of. You know, what a cynical fuck to steal everybody's Christmas while dressed for Christmas. You know what I mean? What a douchebag.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to mention last thing before we get into my final question. How satisfying was the animation? You know, especially when he finally comes up with this plan. He's I'm deciding to steal all of their stuff for Christmas and ruin basically Christmas for everybody. And he sneaks in down the chimneys and stuff. He gets a little stuck. But
that part as a kid, can I say this? That part as a kid, when he got stuck, always gave me anxiety. I was dude, he's gonna die in there. Even though it was a second, I was he's gonna die in that chimney.
And I like how he just gets stuck, but he just readjusts himself back to normal and just slides down.
The way he's stealing everything, the train in the bag.
He's just a smooth criminal though.
And the way he takes the candy cane and he's just boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
when he
sliding
takes
them out and stuff.
the
stockings.
socks. Yeah.
The
with
stockings with
magnet.
the magnets,
Yeah,
dude.
so
It's so satisfying.
Or he's like
Yeah.
winding all the toys and they're just walking into
Oh,
like the
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
also like this like billiards like god
Yeah.
too, because he
Oh,
like
yeah,
took all
with
the
all the
ornaments and he
ornaments.
just boom boom
One
boom
hit.
boom 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 and like bang 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 and then they go in.
In the bag. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I love
they just
it.
go into the bag.
I
there
also
and-
liked when he would like slither like under a tree. He just-
yeah.
yeah.
No, all right. There is a weird part that like there were presents on the tree.
Oh
yeah.
That was pretty wild.
I
don't
think
know how
that
you
used to
could
be
do
a thing.
that
They used to be
either.
a thing.
Yeah,
used to
I
put,
was-
like,
I was
tiny
gonna ask you guys,
presents,
Wait,
though.
wait. So
Yeah.
is that a thing?
They
Was
used to
that
put like
ever a
tiny
thing?
presents,
Yeah.
but like nothing big.
Yeah, I know.
But last thing before I mention my last question, of course, he manages to steal everything. He steals it all the way up to his little hill. Well, actually, a huge hill. And turns out he
Mount
realizes
Crumpus.
they don't give a damn. Is that what it's called? Really?
Yeah, Mount Crumpet.
Crumpet.
Crumpet. Mount Crumpet.
But so he makes it all the way up. But turns out they didn't really care. They were just like, all right, well, as long as we're all together, like that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And he realizes that, and sure enough, his heart like grows massive apparently, which he also needs to get that check. Cause
Yeah.
like, damn, dude, that's so
Yeah,
serious.
dude.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
sounds
probably
good.
not gonna be okay.
Myocarditis
He
over
should
here.
Yeah,
he
dude.
should have
Yeah.
been eating the ham afterwards.
No.
'cause, dude,
The roast
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
But
dude.
so like he manages somehow to bring the whole ass sleigh down the hill, down the giant mountain with Max, and basically re-saves the Christmas that he stole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all that
Happy
blood that
ending
was
all the
just like going through his body, dude. Because
Yeah.
of the freaking heart, man.
And then
But, yeah.
he happened to be the one to cut the roast beast at the
Yeah.
end. So,
Big deal.
really nice, really big honor,
Yeah,
very nice.
mhm,
So
yeah.
my final question before we get into our last little bit of homework. What was your guys' favorite part of this Christmas classic? Because, like, everybody, I feel like everybody as a kid has at least seen it once, especially if you're an American, you know, anyways. Here in the States, they're always showing it on Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon as a kid. What do you guys think is your favorite part? What do you feel?
It's kind of hard because this is such a short one compared to like
a
there's
long one, yeah.
so much like funny like details and everything in the live action that
course,
this one's
yeah.
so short that it's like quick. It's like bang bang bang.
But it's such a good story in such a short time.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
no,
like,
yeah.
For props for that
They, like,
as well.
I honestly
Cover all
think
the bases
when
still.
obviously when I think when the song comes on, honestly when the song comes on during the thing
song,
and he's like, making
the Grinch
yeah,
song.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably because I mean it's just like in my opinion just like the centerpiece of like the movie where it's like this is like everybody hears that song during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say around there.
Okay.
All right.
I would say once he's stealing all of the presents.
That is a good one.
Son of a
too.
bitch.
Stuff.
That's a good one too.
Took
yeah.
mine.
Oh, we have the same one.
That one's funny
Oh,
as shit in the live
all right,
action,
but
too.
like funny visual because he goes to the biggest like Christmas tree like in the
Oh,
village,
yeah.
and he like opens it, and then he like
Closes.
and then,
Yeah,
and then
like
he
an
like puts
umbrella.
it down like a giant umbrella, and
Yeah.
then it like goes up and then down like super tight. And I'm like, yo, this guy's an animal.
Nick?
Manipulation.
So you guys are going with all like the stealing ones. I'll go with the opposite ones when his heart grows. Because there's like
wholesome
this,
guy.
yeah, there's like this visual, where, like the whole movie, his eyes are red, right?
Mhm.
But then like
Oh,
the
yeah.
background gets all like yellow, and then his eyes just turn like a beautiful little blue.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah, that's true. They do.
you're like
change.
that was
Yeah,
just like
those eyes
visually
do,
appealing. You're
yeah.
like that was funny.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know. I really like. I also like the where he's stealing the presents because it's just so satisfying the way he grabs
Yeah.
everything and like he even gets the what is that can he gets of
Hash.
Who hash,
Yeah.
dude? What the
Yeah.
hell is that?
Dude,
Dude,
I
like,
didn't know that he was still just going after the food too. He was taking everyone's food.
And that
He didn't
poor
give a
little
shit.
crumb from the poor
Yeah.
little
The
mouse,
mice,
dude, the
yeah.
little mice. But I also really like. I don't know. It's just funny to me in the beginning that he's just up on this mountain all by himself. He's just like, those fucking bitches down there. Fuck those guys, dude. What
so
the hell?
happy and shit.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, dude, what the fuck? All right. But yeah, for sure, a Christmas classic. I think we can all agree. Beautiful, you know, great animation, just great Christmas little
Absolutely.
little cartoon.
Little
But-
treat.
Ooh.
Keeping going.
All right. There was a great visual that's like a pretty big kind of meme. Is like that
Is his
like
smile.
lion.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he has a
his
curvy
face.
little
Yeah.
smile.
His
Yeah.
smile, yeah, where it
Yeah.
just goes up. Yeah.
When he
Yeah,
first
no.
comes up with his idea to steal
Yeah, and he
Christmas. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
devious.
Yeah, just a devious guy.
But alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into the second bit of my homework before we get into a very, very big thing that we have to talk about. Very
Mhm.
big movie,
Absolutely,
actually, we
yes.
have to talk about. But first, we're going to go ahead and talk about Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Reindeer.
Another Christmas classic, in my opinion. Also, one of those that was kind of shown for a while on like Cartoon Network and stuff like that when I
Yeah.
was a kid. It was always like
Oh, yeah,
reruns and
ton.
stuff like that
Yeah.
around Christmas time. But again, it's a Christmas classic. You know, it's one of those where the animation still holds up pretty interestingly. It's an interesting story. You know, the fact that like this old lady just gets like hit and like we actually see like
smoked.
We actually see like the legal repercussions for some reason, and, like in a kid's like show.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it's really interesting to see like how it plays out, what they do, and like how it works. You know, so. And we also get the Christmas classic song.
Yeah.
Got ran over by a reindeer.
Yeah.
All right,
How do you guys feel about that song? Actually, you know, let me.
All right, I feel like that one's okay. Like
Not as good as
like,
the Grinch?
Oh yeah,
No,
for
yeah,
sure,
no,
for
yeah.
sure.
I could do that one like once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I hear it once a year and I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's it.
for sure. But like, there was some songs in this one that I was like, dude, this is like terrible. This is terrible.
Wait,
music.
no. What was the other one?
literally
When he
terrible
dressed up as
music.
Elvis, I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
So
No,
dude, the other one
because
was-
that part was so
what song is
stupid.
that one?
Because the daughter's like, I need you to sign. He's like, sing? And she's like, no, sign. He's like, I don't want to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like then it like goes to black
Gone.
and like then he's like in this different costume. There's a band in the back and then
Yeah.
it's like a whole song.
Matt,
Yeah. And
Matt,
then-
does that offend you as someone who loves Elvis's Blue Christmas?
Actually, yes, it does.
Oh,
And I love that
Uh,
song.
Yeah.
And how'd you
Yeah,
guys
it's
feel
your
about that
favorite
other
Christmas
song too with Cousin Mel that was like,
Sweet
Grandma's gonna
Mel.
suit the pants up for Santa.
Oh, dude,
That was
the worst
crazy.
one.
was
Like
the
I was
worst one.
watching it and like I was on my phone, right? And
Actually,
I'm like,
Yeah.
and like I was like visibly like, dude,
I
can't
was at my sister skating show last week, and someone skated to that song. And I was
No.
like, "What the hell is this?" So then once I heard it in the movie, I was like, "Yo,
This is worse than the
my
movie."
God, yeah. So watching it in the movie made me dislike the song even more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and go give a quick run through before we talk about our next movie.
Mhm.
But so of course we get introduced to what's his name, Spankenheimer. What's his name? The kid's name?
Spankenheimer.
Something Jake
Jake
Spankenheimer.
Jake
That's correct.
Spankenheimer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Jake Spankenheimer with the Spankenheimer family.
Uh-huh.
They apparently own a like sort of craft shop.
Mom
like
and
it's-
pop shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mom and pop. It's
They got
both like
toys or like whatever.
baked goods,
It's
toys.
also like a Barnes
like,
and Nobles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically is what it looks
to where
like.
they, or no, it's like a supermarket, but it's like
Like a Walgreens almost.
but it's
you know?
like a corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like corner store.
It's like a Walgreens, anyways, that they sell apparently world famous fruitcake, grandma's fruitcake. To
But
be
it's like terrible.
specific, and apparently and it bounces off the fucking.
But
floor.
like everybody
For some
buys
reason.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, it does.
But
Yes.
yeah, and then she's even taking IOUs. Apparently, like people are coming. It's like, hey, I can't afford it, grandma. Like, am I good for it? I'm good for it, right? And she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't worry.
Like it's cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the hell? But anyway, so we go back home, and then apparently grandma has to take something back to the store. She needs to do something, but nobody wants to go with her. They're too busy. She goes outside, and boom, dude, she gets clocked by
And
a
it's so
giant
funny
sleigh.
because the kid is like in his bed, like all tucked in, and like then he like gets out of bed. He's like, "Oh,
Hey,
wow, it's Santa Claus!" And like,
Holy shit,
and then
grandma!
pans to his grandma. He's like, "Oh, grandma, get out! Oh no!" And then sees his
also-
grandma get smoked by a reindeer.
But you also just see her like on like the snow. Like,
Yeah,
Just
like dead.
twisted. Just
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, but it was so funny.
How would you guys feel if you saw that visual? Like your kid, you just woke up Christmas morning and like,
Santa
yeah, you saw that. Well, how would you feel?
I would be like
traumatized?
traumatized. I think.
Yeah?
I don't think I would like Santa.
I think I would have a
because I
vendetta,
feel like that would kill my
against-
grandma. There's like no
Santa.
way my like grandma takes that hit. There's
Yeah,
no
she'd
way.
do it, she'd
Like,
do it.
I would
100%.
grow up and then like set traps for like this guy now
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
like I would just have like this like
Vendetta.
vendetta against Santa.
You're like Harry from like the original. You're after
Yeah.
Spider-Man because
Yeah,
you killed
yeah.
your father. Except it's your
This
grandma.
doesn't change anything.
But yeah, she gets ran over, and then all of a sudden she disappears. Apparently, which like everybody's like for months looking for grandma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, because it
That's
was
like-
like
It
September.
was a year. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
whole year. That
Yeah,
passed
like
recently.
once they start like talking about
Yeah.
it.
But I mean, like in a weird way, good guy Santa, but also like, dude, what the hell? Like he ran her over. It
Yeah.
turns out it gets revealed to us, the audience, that he's been holding her this whole time, basically taking care of her. She happened to get amnesia after she got, of course, just absolutely plowed by the sleigh, dude.
Yeah.
Like just rolled over.
By these reindeer. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, but she like wakes up in his workshop and she's just like, how's it going? What?
Yeah,
Hey,
like,
who are you?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a big fucker. You know, it's just like, what the hell is
No,
happening?
yeah. Dude, no,
the
I was
accent
super
of
confused.
this character too.
The grandma?
Like, it was just so like funny too.
Because she didn't
Hey,
really
how's
care.
it going?
You know?
Hey, go outside, little guy over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
And then
didn't
also,
flinch about the L's.
and then didn't their dog have like a black
A black paw. Yeah, he did.
Right.
Yeah.
What was his paw? Was it
Interesting.
broken?
I don't
It
know,
was like a dead
but
paw.
that Santa,
I thought it was
obviously, that Santa is a fucking moron. Because you know what?
Yeah, he
In the
abducted
middle of
her.
a
He was trying to
snowstorm.
help
You're
her,
getting cold.
but still, you know.
Let me.
he
I don't give a
stole her for
shit. That
year.
Santa's a fucking idiot. Give me a call. I don't give a shit. Keep my house warm.
There you go.
Because who in the right mind is like, oh my god, I just hit this grandma. No, I'm gonna take her back to the North Pole and just leave a letter in snow. In fucking snow. You couldn't knock on the door and be like, hey, I fucking smoked your
Or
grandma.
just hit
He's
your
like,
bitch,
hey,
dude.
don't worry.
I gotta
Yeah.
go.
Because apparently it doesn't matter to the Santa, like, because at first I was like, oh, he doesn't want to be seen. Like, I get it, because he's Santa. But that doesn't even matter, because he just goes into the city later.
And then goes
Yeah.
into a building.
Into a
and
building,
So-
parks
Yeah.
his
into a courtroom.
thing, yeah. So I'm like, the amount of criminal activity that just happened. And then he's like, I took her to the North Pole, where we have free Medicare and medical help. What? Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But
Like,
It's
so,
a weird legal turn.
So let me explain
It's
for
out
those
of
of
nowhere.
you who haven't seen it. So basically what happens is there's a guy who ends up wanting to buy Grandma's store. Since she's apparently been abducted by Santa Claus,
Santa.
she's not there to help, keep her store. So this evil cousin Mel, who's basically in it for the money, she wants everything for herself. She was really not interested in anything else. She basically signs the store away. And it leads to this whole, apparent legal battle, which is, the main, kind of focus of the movie, besides, getting Grandma back, is, okay, Santa's getting sued for running over Grandma.
Yeah.
Literally, he goes into town, he sits in a court session, Santa Claus actually comes in and does this. And everybody, too, is like, oh, dude, that's actually Santa, everyone's, freaking out. But, how did you guys feel about that? That was really... an interesting
I just
plot
thought it
point.
it just took such a weird kind of
Turn.
legal turn of all right, so there's all these consequences now apparently.
Yeah.
And I was just so thrown off, man. I was just so thrown off.
It was the
very-
weirdest subplot
And
of
then-
all
Yeah.
time.
And
Yeah.
because Mel wants to sell that business to whoever the fuck is in charge. I
It
forget.
was
what
the property, right?
And then
the
Mel
guy
was
wanted the
very
property.
down.
well,
down bad.
who's the guy that's in charge of like the city?
Oh, that was Mr. Bucks.
Or
Mr. Bucks,
Mr.
Mr.
Bucks,
Bucks.
Yeah, Mr.
who owned the company that was called Own Everything.
Yeah. So by the
Like,
way,
what?
So apparently this guy literally owns every fucking building
He literally owns
in
everything.
that county except
No,
for the mom and
No,
pop
it's
store, which for some reason he just can't buy.
Yeah, and also on the side note, what an asshole for Grandpa just to sign it like nothing. He's just like,
Like, his
"All right,
grandpa's
cool."
a fucking
Idiot.
donkey.
Yeah.
And on top of
that's
that,
a dumb.
yo,
Hey,
are-
fucking
if they're
grandpa.
gonna go through all
That's
this
a dumb
legal
grandpa.
trouble in this kids animated cartoon, can we not just talk about how he can literally just buy the mom and pop store from the realtor
Probably.
business? He probably owns the realtor business.
Yeah.
He could just be like, hey,
Yeah.
well, I could pay you
But
triple the amount
also,
they're
there's
paying.
a thing
Zone
called
your lease.
Monopoly, and I feel
Yeah.
like that guy is running through that.
But for some reason, we can go through legal battles and this shit, hit and runs. We can
Yeah.
have that dumb fucking cop that's like, oh, it's a 1224 and fucking shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
from
yeah.
Saskatchewan or whatever. And it's like, but don't
Were
worry.
they in Canada?
Don't-
Accents
no.
are all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no clue what
Dude,
was
also-
going
Yeah.
on.
Actually,
Where
remember
were
that.
they?
What a bunch of
I don't
jerk off
know.
cops when the kid is literally freaking out. He's like, I literally saw my grandma get ran over, and they're like, yeah, okay, kid, sure.
Yeah,
uh-huh."
okay,
It's
big
like-
guy.
Yeah, sure, bud.
When
And
he's
yeah.
definitely
It's like,
old
yo, where
enough
are
to
we?
he's cognitive.
Yeah, no,
enough to
and
be
he's
okay.
visibly freaked out because he's
Yeah.
thought he saw his grandma die.
And then are we also
Killed
not
by
going to
Santa.
mention how Mel and that random lawyer
Yeah.
kidnap her again and just keep her housed into a fucking cabin? Like,
Oh yeah, but
Full
that was
lawyer,
full on kidnapping.
That was
full-on
like-
kidnap.
wild.
Yeah.
But she also did get arrested at the end too.
Yeah.
Mel and didn't Mel and the lawyer get arrested at the end? Don't they get
Oh yeah.
they
The
get
lawyer
arrested.
is like, I want you to charge these people. Oh, and then the deciding factor is fucking trying the fruitcake that grandma
Oh
makes.
yeah, that's the final
and that's how
moment
she
is
fucking
the-
snaps back into it. She eats this thing, and then she's like, oh my god,
What am I doing here?
What am I doing here?
Jack.
Dude,
Like, oh
what?
yeah, mom, or
Yeah,
grandma. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like whoa, dude.
Yeah, it's so dated.
It's like damn, like there's like a lot
There's
of
a lot.
dated lines in
Oh,
there.
There's a lot,
Like,
and
goes and like
especially once
gives
he
her a
first-
hug, and then here, and then oh yeah, it's like oh
No,
wow.
there's a other part where he's like roller skating to the office.
Oh my god,
And
yeah.
like everyone tells him like where's like the Mr. Bucks' office is, and he skates in there and he stops, and like the first thing Mr. Bucks says, "Nice stop,
Nice
Jack."
Yeah.
Oh my god, so
Jake or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know. But like I was like, oh my god, dude. Dude.
This
It was
one's
a
real
tough-
dated.
So
It was
that's
a tough
wild.
like.
Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest watch, but I mean it's still alright. You know, like it was still like a whatever
Yeah.
kind of watch. It's still
Yeah.
it reminded me definitely a lot of like
It was
when I
very
was a kid and
cornball.
stuff, a lot of
Yeah.
nostalgia.
But-
I don't even think
But,
this was
for
like
sure,
a
yeah.
nostalgic kid thing for me. I don't think I watched
I
this as a
didn't.
kid.
I
never
only saw this
refused.
once before this, and I think it was like on a special on Cartoon Network or something
yeah.
like that.
I've seen
Yeah.
this a lot on
I haven't.
Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
like for sure,
Yeah.
like for sure.
that's what they showed the most.
But it,
Mhm.
but it seems like I blocked out a lot of this movie though, because there's some things that I was like, oh my god.
I didn't even know it was that
before.
long, like 50 minutes, like or whatever. I was just like,
Yeah,
wait,
it was
what?
actually-
This is a 50-minute? I was like, dude, doesn't she just get hit by a reindeer or
Yeah.
fucking Santa? And then I'm like, oh no, never mind. There's legal action.
Yeah, it's just wild that
I
they
mean,
decided to take that route.
Gotta deal with the
Santa through
legal
ringer.
consequences.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's go ahead and get our final rates for both of these because we also didn't get the final rate for the Grinch,
Yep.
the classic one. So for the Grinch, first off, let's get final rates. How do you guys feel about this Christmas classic? What do you rate it, Matt?
I would say The Grinch. I like this movie. I think it's a classic. I think it's very rewatchable. I think it's very important. So I'm gonna go with 8.3
Very good.
because I think the animation still stands.
Mhm.
And then for the grandma got ran over by a reindeer, I'm gonna go 4.8.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, I do enjoy the live action Grinch more
Of
than the
course.
classic. So I can't rate this one above the live action Grinch. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cap this one off at maybe a 8.
8?
Yeah.
8
but
flat?
I
8-0?
mean, 9 times out of 10, I gotta watch the live action one. It's just like that one's so good and that one's so funny. Jim
I
Carrey
gotta watch
kills
that
it.
one.
It is
Yeah,
hilarious.
no, it's actually like
They do a little bit
pretty
more
good.
backstory on why he hates Christmas and all that. But I mean, this one is a classic though.
Equipment.
And then for the other one, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have to cap that one off at like a. I'm gonna go 4 flat. I'm gonna go 4
Damn,
That's
flat.
fair. That's fair.
Damn.
Yeah.
John?
I just,
okay.
dude, it's not a movie that I look forward to Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not even a song that I look forward to Christmas. So I have to.
It's just
I have
really
To,
dated, like
yeah, of course.
culturally.
yeah,
it's
but
really
like the
dated.
Grinch is dated.
No, but it's like. I
But
don't even
like
think
that's
the
a
Grinch is
classic.
that dated, but it's like a classic. Like,
But
there's
in
a
terms
difference.
of the actual
'Cause-
date, it's 1966
Yeah.
compared to 2000.
Yeah, no, it's like. Oh my god.
John,
All
what do you
right.
rate?
For the Grinch, I'm gonna go 8.5. Really like this one. I could probably watch this one every year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Classic. But for the other one, fuck, dude. 3.9.
Oh,
3.9.
God,
This
you
one was
went
rough
lower.
for me. Yeah.
Hey,
dude.
what did you do for grown-ups?
I think I did like
You
5
did-
something.
5 cents.
I think you give
Yeah.
it a 6 something.
Or a 6 something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
I think I
Alright.
gave Grown Ups like a 3 something.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
Still gotta watch the sequel.
Yeah.
Grandpa got run over.
Uh,
But
No,
no.
the Grown-Ups
oh no, for
Oh, it's
grown-ups.
Grown-Ups, my bad.
Grown-ups too.
But no, for the Grinch, it's an absolute classic. We watch it every year, our family. And it's just one of those like, it's like a breath of fresh air because it's not like claymation like a lot of
Yeah.
Christmas movies are.
And it's not too dark. It's such a bright and like colorful animation.
Yeah, exactly. So I love it. I'm gonna go an 8.4 on it. And then Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. It's so tough. I hadn't seen it since like literally maybe like high school, and I think this will be the last time again. I'm gonna abide by my rule. 4.9.
Okay.
Anything below a 5,
Yeah.
I will not watch again.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Alright.
yeah. I'd be perfectly fine if I didn't like even know about this movie.
So So I think for me, I like both Grinches are always a classic, dude. Like I absolutely love The Grinch with Jim Carrey. That's my personal favorite Christmas movie for sure. And I take the same sort of feel with this as Dom. And I can't rate it higher than that one because like that one's off the scale. That one's way different. It's a full movie production, as opposed to this. It's just kind of a short story. But that being said, it's still a classic. Like I love the colors. I love the way it's animated. His smile, his look, his moves. And it's one of those that I can watch every year, and it's like I never ever would get tired of it. I feel like I could watch this till like I'm 80 and I'd still be like, the Grinch is on TV.
Yeah. Oh, dude, when it's on TV, it's such a good feeling.
So that being said, like that with that fact, I want to give it a 9. Like it's really good, and the fact that it could be that timeless, it just goes to show how good that piece of animation is. But
1966, man.
Exactly, and just goes to show how different animations can be if Grandma got ran over by reindeer. Yeah. Weird movie for sure. That's kind of why I picked it, because it's very out there. It's very different compared to like regular Christmas specials and stuff like that. And weird with the legal turn. Like I don't know why it's in a kids movie. There's legal stuff.
Yeah.
But interesting nonetheless, and interesting characters too. I love Grandma. She's so stupid but so funny, dude. Like she just don't give a damn, dude.
Yeah. So he doesn't give a shit.
But I want to give that one just a 5. Just a flat
5.
Just a 5.
Fair enough.
That's all right.
It's a fair 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
But all right. So anything else? Any last comments on these last two, the Christmas classics?
Nope.
Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and later on the podcast we're gonna go ahead and get Matt's homework.
Yeah.
This last festive homework this week. We're gonna close it off closer to New Year's, but it's still around the Christmas time anyways. So of course we can watch another Christmas movie. That's no problem. But all right, so that's gonna go ahead and close off my homework. So next we're gonna go ahead and talk about a very big movie, something that we've been talking about basically all year. We've been talking about.
Are we gonna do Hawkeye?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll get into the big movie. I almost forgot. Yeah. But so let's go ahead and talk about Hawkeye, and of course, remember for that ending of where Hawkeye's leading. Let's not talk about what could involve that other stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about Hawkeye because I forgot about that one. Hawkeye episode 5? Right. That's what this one is. It's called. What's it called? Ronin? I think is. Oh no.
Yeah, it's called Ronin.
Yeah, it's called
Ronin,
Ronin. Yeah.
Ronin, in which we see the focus on, of course, Hawkeye and Kate this time around. But weirdly enough, we have a very big reveal at the ending, which we're not going to talk about because, of course, it is a very, very big spoiler, especially for what's coming next with the MCU, anyways. But so in this episode, I don't know. It was just very. What'd you guys feel about this episode? General thoughts about it.
I did like this episode because we got more of Yelena.
Yeah.
She was kind of saying her side of the story more.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's still pretty pissed off.
Oh yeah.
But obviously towards the end, I think she's more along the lines of like, wait a minute, maybe I should like kind of investigate more and get more context here.
Real
kind
quick,
of like
before
herself.
I know she's already in trailers and stuff like that at this point, and also been posted. But real quick, we're gonna spoiler warning for Hawkeye episode 5. If you have not seen it, we're gonna go ahead and dive deeper into the episode, get more details about it. So if you have not seen Hawkeye episode 5, Ronin, skip ahead because we're about to dive into it.
Absolutely.
So okay, starting off the episode, we get a very interesting visual in which Yelena gets zapped back, basically blipped back.
Yeah,
so very
crazy,
interesting because now as the audience we now know for them the people that have been blipped, it was literally a second for them.
That was the first time I think
now
they
we know that.
really went over that though.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
This
is the first time we as
like a
viewers
first
have
person.
seen from a person that has been blipped's perspective is what it is.
Like going and coming back.
Exactly. So and it's literally it was within a second. She went to the bathroom. She was washing her hands. She got blipped. Everything changed within the bathroom, but everybody was still there. Everything else was, relatively the same. The people were still there.
Yeah.
So very interesting. How'd you guys feel about that's how
That
the
was
blip
crazy.
works? What do you guys think?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. I think it does make sense.
Yeah,
But I also thought it was cool how she was looking around, but then when she looks around again, the decorations were different, the walls were different, everything changed.
Because I think the only other time we saw somebody come back like that was Proton, I think, or whatever her name is, Photon, whatever her damn name is in WandaVision.
Oh,
Because she comes back in the hospital. I think she was in the hospital when her mom got blipped, or when she got blipped, and then but like they don't show it how it's like right away, but they just show her coming back, and it's like everything's like
and
fucking
everything's
crazy.
just crazy.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Because I believe she was on a mission with another widow to like try and change that one chick, right?
Oh
back.
yeah, change her back, but she was actually not really under control.
Yeah,
she
just kind of like
using what she's got.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool. And then she goes to the restroom. She's like blipped back, and then it's like, what the fuck's happening? Like, I don't understand. And then like, I believe that other widow already had a family now. Like she had like, a family, and, like a little kid.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool to see.
That was pretty dope. That was pretty fucking dope.
That
really
different
interesting
perspective of the blip.
And then after that, we get a little more focus on what's it called on Hawkeye, in which he visits. Of course, he visits the Echo. Well, no.
Oh no!
First, he
right.
visits the memoriam site, in which he basically has a 1-to-1 with his former partner, Black Widow. He basically, and it's interesting because he lowers the volume on his.
He takes it out.
Oh
yeah,
he takes it out.
Yeah. He takes out his earpiece,
and he just sits there and he has this kind of 1-on-1 moment with her.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about like that part in particular?
That was dope. I liked it.
Very powerful scene.
It's
just
so
like
small,
such a simple
but
powerful little ordeal.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, for sure.
And then also we get the reveal, oddly enough, that Eleanor called the cops on what's his name.
Yeah.
Frank or whatever his name is? Jack Duquesne, exactly. She happened to get him arrested. So,
but can I say something?
What's up?
That was the fakest fucking arrest ever.
Yeah,
that was so
course,
staged. It wasn't a real arrest.
That was
in my
fraudulent
opinion.
arrest for sure.
Yeah,
I felt
it was literally just because. Did you notice that they
fake.
were arresting him? Like the second that Kate walked in, so that she saw and everything looked okay. So that mom is all of a sudden in the clear. Yeah.
But what a snake she is, eh?
Mom is just a snake.
What a snake Eleanor is, dude.
I think he might be in on it though.
Oh yeah.
I think that guy's a rat too, but I feel like we've kind of known that that Eleanor
has
been a rat since. I'm not gonna say.
No, but we know she's a sussy baka.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the way she acts.
Since I think when she was arguing with the uncle.
Yeah.
Was that episode 2?
Oh, sorry,
that's
the wrong movie. That's
that was a great cameo.
I was like zooming out. That was episode 1, I think, because he dies.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That was episode 1.
She's always been pretty ratty.
Yeah.
And then later in the episode, finally after Hawkeye has this conversation with Black Widow at the memoriam, he decides to. The reason why he does this is he's gonna don on the suit and fight Echo.
Dude, he was so sick when he
dude.
So kicked so much ass.
What a hell of a battle!
Suit,
I want to talk about that battle. Like when he whips out the sword too, and they were kind of going back and forth, and he had the opportunity to end her. He could have easily ended her, and he chose not to. And of course, let her go, let her ride off and everything. And
I told her
about that.
That girl's like a really good fighter though, man.
And then,
for sure.
And then told her who tipped him off. And said it was an informant, and then she figures out why wasn't my right-hand man at that meeting that day? Why wasn't Kazi at the meeting?
Yep, very good questions are being raised.
And then towards the end, finally, after Hawkeye beats her, and there's all these sort of questions in the air. What's going on? How come my Echo is saying how come my right hand is faltering? What's going on? How come Eleanor is also being a sussy baka? Finally, at the end, a very, very, very huge reveal. Turns out that Eleanor is working hand in hand with none other than Kingpin himself.
With a big old grease ball.
So it is revealed that not necessarily just Kingpin, but the Kingpin from Daredevil, the same exact actor. What's his name?
D'Onofrio. Vincent D'Onofrio is reprising the role as Kingpin as well. Which he played in Daredevil, the Netflix original show. Crazy to think that they're actually going to connect the original Daredevil to this. Yes, and he was wearing his white suit talking to Eleanor. How do we feel about this? What do you guys think?
I feel like it's a great move because obviously that show on Netflix was a well-written show, but also just like a really good show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's awesome that they're... Hold on. But I am glad that
they're bringing in Kingpin.
Yeah,
it's awesome that they're bringing in Kingpin.
Yeah, because they missed on a lot of their other like shows. They missed a lot. People didn't fancy Luke Cage. Didn't fancy Iron Fist. I think what's the other one?
Jessica Jones.
Jones.
The first season was good.
No.
There
was another one where they brought them together.
Show.
What was the one
The
Defenders. But I mean, the two that caught some good fire were Daredevil and then Punisher. And
the Nexus Punisher.
Yeah, but interesting that they revealed Kingpin of all. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, but he's such a good villain, and then like the
He's
comics being in like New York City and stuff like that, just so. And he rules the underground.
Yeah. Plus his hands are in everything.
And he was a big deal in Daredevil and as well as in Punisher. So I have a good feeling they're gonna just try and pick up there because I think they know that those are their two heavy hitters for the show. So I think they know. That we can at least pick up on Daredevil or something.
Give us Punisher. Give us John Berthel.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, they might.
I think he's too brutal for the MCU. But I wouldn't want to see anyone else be him, though.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, like, it's ruined for me if anyone else does, because he was so good.
But alrighty, but any final thoughts on this this episode? In my opinion, probably the best episode of the show that we've seen so far.
I think the episodes are just getting better and better.
And we also have gotten the finale trailer, and in the finale, apparently they say a very specific line, which, let's be very careful with spoilers, but he does say the specific line, the Marvel Universe is about to get a lot bigger. That's what they say in the season finale of... A trailer of Hawkeye.
But also, this season finale is supposed to be the longest episode that any of the Marvel shows
is it really?
had. Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Because I think WandaVision was like an hour and a half or something like that, right?
I think WandaVision was a little over an hour, but they said this one's going to be longer than that.
Yeah.
So,
good. That would be awesome.
I'm expecting like hour 20, hour 30 episodes.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff they got.
I would love that, dude. I love it.
And we're going to see it tonight. So
yeah, I am definitely going to stay up for it.
I am too.
Yeah, my girlfriend couldn't tell me anything about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like,
you know her, right?
No, of course.
Actually, I do.
Any tips?
Florence Pugh. No, I can't ruin her career like this.
But alrighty,
well, we tried, guys.
High hopes for the finale. We're a few hours away, so let's get bunkered down and get excited for it. But alrighty, so that's gonna be it for the stuff that we've been keeping up with. Now we have a big again, back to the big movie that we've been talking about. Yeah. Again, a movie that we've literally been talking about all year through our year nays. We've talked about not spoilers, but like rumors. We've talked about interviews. We talked about all sorts of news, left and right. What's been going on? Yeah, exactly. A ton of the caps, left and right. So we are now going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's do a very soft, spoiler-free version. You know, again,
how am I
it's going to be hard.
Soft
I know, it's very...
When I'm so bricked. Yeah, when I'm bricked up.
Let's just do quick thoughts.
How am I supposed to keep
let's do quick thoughts. So I'm going to ask a general question. So out of the 3 Spider-Man movies, how do you feel... Where does this one land for you guys? Where do you feel that out of the trilogy that we have with Tom Holland... Where does this one land for you?
So, I would like to go first, but I'm going to say No Way Home to me is 1. I'm going to put Homecoming as 2. And then, obviously, Far From Home. But it's just, once you're, like, doing that, I feel like you're really splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Because they're all, to me, are really good.
They're all unique.
Third one,
they're all unique.
And then, once I rewatched Homecoming, I got a better appreciation for it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But once you're separating them, you're almost just splitting hairs at this point. Because a third one makes the rest of them better. Because the third one to me is a coming of age of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so it's just this one just connects everything. But this one's my favorite.
I would have to piggyback off of that. This one for sure is. I would have to compare this a lot to kind of the same route that Captain America went. Because the third movie was a master movie for Captain America as well. It was Civil War. And it's kind of unfair to compare that to the other two because this one had so many characters in it, just like Civil War did. However, I do think Winter Soldier is the best movie out of the trilogy. But in this one, I think No Way Home is. It's a good third movie, and each one is unique in its own way. Homecoming was him becoming, like, understanding that, you know, he's a neighborhood Spider-Man, but he's becoming something more, and then Far From Home he gets his edge, and then this one was just his like actual like no filter
Spider Boy
Spider-Man so that's what I would say about that.
All right.
It was trash though.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Dom's piggyback.
Well, that's a lot of
Yeah, a lot of piggybacking going on here.
There's a lot of piggies.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
like.
give us that one. Give us the little growl thing though.
That's a baby one. But no, but like bottom line though, it's like this is like that's when like you know that like you're dealing with a good trilogy like trio type of movie, to where like it comes out and it immediately like pumps up the last two, and
That's
it's like because like this one does it all. It's got everything. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and it's got the brutal fights. It's got everything. I was speechless during this movie, and just thinking about it now, I'm like getting like giddy again. And just a great movie, man.
Yeah, no, what John said is perfectly right. It makes the first two better, which is like literally the role of what a trilogy is supposed to do.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I
Star
won't say
Wars?
it was perfect, but it was
Hear
very
that?
close.
Damn it,
Yeah.
Star Wars.
I won't say it was perfect, but it was close.
Last question before we dive deep into spoilers, because honestly, I don't want to talk anything about the movie, like, because I feel like there's a ton of it.
Anything you really say, you're like,
So-
oh wait, I'm not gonna spoil it, but then you're like, oh wait, hold on.
Wait.
So my last question though, so that way, you know, if you are a fan of Spider-Man and you haven't seen it yet, do you guys feel like, you know, again, we've been talking about it literally all year, like, you know, pretty much every other podcast, it feels like, you know, there's always news about it. Do you guys feel like it lived up to the hype? Do you think it was all the way up there? Do you think it was worth every little bit of hype?
Which is crazy because the hype was already like, insane. Because there's a lot of hype because there's a lot of things that they're gonna do and add in to this movie with
But also
Doctor Strange and all this stuff. And I feel like they really did live up to the hype.
But the
And
biggest
more of
thing
it.
about like all the theories like floating around this movie like throughout the year too is like, oh well, like they're saying that this is gonna happen in a movie, or it's like so and so could be in it, or it's like so and so definitely doesn't want to be in it, but it's like, all right, but this guy's confirmed, but this guy's not, and it was like, they're gonna bring past villains from different movies, and it's like, does this make sense? Like there was so much going on with this movie, and there was a ton of hype, and I definitely really think that it got there for sure.
I wouldn't say, for me personally, I wouldn't say it like totally exceeded my expectations, because my hype area of where I already had it was already too high. So like I think anything else it would have done would have just been too much. So I think we got all that we really were asking for, because I mean usually we don't really get everything we ask for.
This is crazy.
And we got pretty much all of it. So I would say they hit it pretty much right on the button.
Yeah.
And it was a good duration movie. I think it was about 250, 240. So
It was long.
It was a good movie, and I think they didn't fall short. I think they needed to hit where the hype bar was set at, because I think if they didn't, it would have more or less hurt the trilogy because of all the hype that it got. And I'm glad that they were able to get in that area.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So at this point, if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home, just I'm sorry, but that's gonna be the pod for you. We're gonna close off the pod with all of this.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
we're gonna deep dive. We're gonna do a whole.
I know, still hasn't seen it.
We're gonna do
crazy.
We're gonna do a whole deep dive into this movie. We're gonna close off the podcast because there is an absolute ton to talk about of this movie because a ton happened. You know, we got to get into it. Yeah. So if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home, skip ahead because this is gonna be your spoiler warning.
Don't even skip ahead.
But also,
Just
if
close
you
it.
didn't even like get to it, like there's been so many freaking spoilers, like all over the place.
Around, yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, like pretty much after Thursday, like there's been a ton.
Yeah,
so like
literally everywhere.
just if you didn't get around that, like.
But we're most likely going to talk, like, we're not going to get into yay or nay or gaming, most likely, so I'll pretty much just close it out if you don't want to listen to anything.
But, alrighty, so we're going to dive in at this point. So, again, final spoiler warning for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
But, alright, so let's get into it, lads. So, let's start right at the beginning. So, we start off hot and fresh right off of almost exactly, like, as if it was from No Way Home. I mean, Far From Home, in which he's swinging in New York. We get the reveal that, what's his name, Beck, just announced to the entirety of New York City and, you know, basically the world that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. turns out his identity is revealed. Everybody in New York is like freaking out. You know, they see him and they're like, "Hey, it's you! Like you're just a kid." And somebody even says it, like, "You're just a kid. What the hell?"
Yeah.
You know. And he takes MJ. They swing around for a while. They're trying to look for like freedom. Yeah. Basically, they have to deal with this fame for like a week or so, or like even a few days, something like that. It's basically like a few days of hell. It's Peter's senior year. We find out as well. That he's going to go off to college after, at this point. Mm-hmm. But now he has to deal with all this fame, this hellish, like everybody's taking pictures, taking videos. I mean, it's New York, so there's people left and right. You really can't avoid, people.
Cameras everywhere.
Exactly. So the second they see him, they're getting flocked,
Fame and kind of like more or less just controversy because he was framed.
Exactly, right.
So that's why it affects a lot of his and companions' future decisions.
And oh, go on.
No, that was it.
And during this time, Flash Thompson also wants apparently a little bit of this infamy, trying to, essentially writing a book and doing, other stuff, trying to act like Peter's best friend, weirdly enough. How'd you guys feel about, like, those parts where he's like, oh, I wrote a book, and, like, I'm just his best friend.
I think that kid got uglier. Shout out.
That's what I think, too.
That guy's got to, like, change it up or do something. That guy got uglier, man. And it's, like, dyeing the hair, too. Bold move, Cotton.
But also,
didn't work out for him.
The name of his book that we were just watching right now, and Nick also pointed out, it being called Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
such a meta,
which is on top of the many Easter
eggs. What a soft dunk. You know what I mean?
Dude,
on DC, like what a soft little.
Very good
dunk. Sorry.
Yeah. That was like a very jelly sick layup. Just oh.
Yeah.
With the soft touch.
It's a finger roll, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, please, this kid, keep him minor. I do not want to see him in any.
But also, like, this guy is like such a nerdy looking dude too.
I would take this kid's lunch money.
Like,
10 out of 10.
Oh my god, dude!
Like, it actually doesn't make sense
too.
that he's.
I'd put this kid in a trash can and I'd smack his books out of his hand.
But like,
but what if he gets the Venom symbiote?
That would actually.
That would be the worst
thing. That would be the worst thing you can do.
So, and then he goes upstairs. He's at school. He even has to get checked every day at school at this point because he is technically up in the air a possible criminal. In the weirdest way. But on top of that, he goes into school. And a couple of teachers have a trophy case set up for him with pictures with a Photoshop picture of him and like
my boy
Hannibal Buress was calling him like a criminal. The gym teacher, he's like,
I know
he's a criminal. So.
Yeah, I know what you did. And then everyone was booing, and he was like, "Why are you booing me? I'm right."
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, Mysterio was right."
But also like once I think it was the principal that was just telling him, it's like, "Oh yeah, you can like do your thing, like run through the hall, swinging through the hall,
and climb on the ceiling,
like you also
get
just
through the
kind
house.
And
we know you can
at
do
that
it.
Point,
everyone knows
the
you
whole,
can do it.
Like pampering stuff, you also just kind of get a feel for like how annoying it is and how it must be. It's like, wow, this is a nightmare. Like it's literally everywhere.
But it's different though. Like for people like Stark, that Stark has his own like compounds and stuff that he can like shuttle himself off to, and he doesn't have to deal with this. Like Peter's just an everyday kid, dude. Like
and he's still poor. Like it's not like he's
poor.
Like
he can't afford security. He can't afford like people to like back off these other
and keep in mind that like Happy's kind of in hot water at this point too. So it's not like Happy's accompanying him to school and like giving him the Iron Man treatment. Like dude's life literally just got worse. Everyone's life just got worse,
especially because his fling flung.
Oh yeah, no. And poor Happy, man. He deals with a lot in this movie.
What a great scene, though, when like it got revealed that he was Spider-Man. He's in the apartment with MJ, and like May walks in and they see them shirtless. He sees him shirtless. It's not what it looks like, and they're like walking around, closing all the blinds, and then sure enough, they look out the window and there's a big old helicopter. It was a pretty great scene.
Because there's just like so much going on, and that was just a good start to like the movie. Kick it off.
He does go back to school, but before that, didn't he have to go through all his legal troubles though?
Oh yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So after like once he's going to school and stuff like that, of course he's getting pressed by the cops because he's still under hot fire for apparently the murder of Beck, as well as the attack in London. All of the drones is essentially blamed on him. He's essentially the only person on the line for all of that stuff. But it's revealed to us after he gets home and they're sitting down, they're having a powwow with a specific lawyer. Turns out we do get the actual Netflix Daredevil. Charlie Cox is going to be playing Daredevil, Matt Murdock. What an interesting scene. He's basically laying out, Peter, you're actually going to be okay. I was able to, get this cleared. But happy you're still in deep shit. Basically saying that. And not only that, a brick flies through the window, and sure enough, he catches it.
And by he, Matt Murdock. Not Peter.
But both Matt and Peter had their hands out to catch it, but Matt caught it first.
Yeah.
And Peter, everybody is stunned. And Peter asks him, he's like, how did you do that? And he just says, I'm a really good lawyer.
Very smooth.
Just a very
that
good
was
lawyer.
that was the best cameo. And once I was watching
great line, because he says that in Daredevil too.
I was thinking, I was like, man, if this is all we see of him, that's perfect. This is enough. And just seeing him pop out, dude, I was just like, dude, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. It felt like I was seeing an old friend. I was like, look at this guy.
And I love they did it so perfectly. It wasn't like, hey, it's Charlie Cox. It was just he was just sitting there in the living, in the dining room.
Because that's the worst.
And he was just talking.
Because that's the worst thing. If it's gonna do it a big kind of cameo of it's oh, that's Black Panther. It's oh wait, exactly. it's T'Challa. It's wait, that's oh my god, Ant-Man. He's right there. Yeah, that's the worst. Fans really They blended it. They blended it perfect.
Yeah, this is a straight ode to people who are, I wouldn't say true fans, but almost true fans, because
longtime fans anyways.
Longtime fans, that would make more sense, because a lot of people never watch those TV shows because
they weren't
directly related to the MCU technically, even though they tried.
Even though they reference events in the beginning of Daredevil, it's just after the New York incident.
And so, but now that he's in it, I'm sure there is even people that were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah,
sadly.
Of course.
But you know what? As we said earlier for the Hawkeye thing, we got Kingpin from his universe here. Now we have Matt Murdock that appeared in Spider-Man, so I'm assuming... I don't think this was necessarily him being important in Spider-Man. I think this is more or less his segue to join the universe.
Dude, so season 1 came out in 2015.
Exactly.
Dude, that's
the long game.
Dude.
The long game.
Long game.
So now that we're on that topic and we just now revealed Daredevil now, and since we've already talked about Hawkeye at this point, let's take bets. So what are your odds that we are going to see Daredevil in Hawkeye?
I think better odds
not
that
the
we'll
other
see
part
Daredevil.
Yet, the other person yet. Right now where we're at.
I think better odds that we'll see Daredevil in Hawkeye than Spider-Man.
All right.
I think it would be cool to see Daredevil and Hawkeye fighting alongside each other. Fighting a big old gang.
That'd be cool, especially because
I'd be down for that. And it would be a good refresher still to pump Daredevil franchise and for people to go back and watch those early seasons.
Well, let me ask you guys this. So now that Daredevil is in, it's also a possibility that the Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist are in. What do you guys feel are the bets based on the line set in the trailer? The Marvel Universe is about to get a lot bigger. What are you guys' bets that all of the Defenders are going to show up?
I hope not.
I'd rather just
give me
a Punisher.
I'm gonna take the under because I'm gonna be doing a parlay. Because that would be a part of my parlay of them just the Defenders don't come out. Daredevil,
yes,
I'm gonna take that bet, but I'm gonna pair it with something else. The different bet that we're gonna talk about later.
I'll take Daredevil, but in terms of all the other guys, I don't think so. The only one I want, Punisher. That's it.
Punisher.
Iron Fist. I'm gonna say I bet just Daredevil.
I think
or same.
It's either just Daredevil or just the other one because something happens right in front of his apartment.
Yeah, and I feel in my opinion, especially after the most recent news and especially the timing of Daredevil being literally not even a week, a few days before the episode of Hawkeye, where Daredevil is finally revealed to us. I think it's too lined up to not see Daredevil. You know what I mean? At this
Kevin
point,
Feige, man.
I feel even if he's not a heavy hitter, if he's not a main staple, even if he shows a small nod that he's still connected to Kingpin or whatever, he's gonna be revealed in this. I feel like. But all right, continuing.
Do you think he's coming out?
Daredevil, absolutely.
Yeah.
I only have a big concern is I don't know that there's enough of a threat to have so many, like, to have Daredevil and Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. You know, like, I'm very nervous about how they're gonna balance out.
But I could see one
And
going
Yelena,
down,
yeah.
and then, like, that's why.
Yeah, but then you have, like,
Somebody else pops
Yelena, and, you know, maybe if Yelena brings a widow or something.
I mean,
but it'd be
Yelena's
tough.
still.
Yeah.
Oh, she's OP.
She still has swords against Hawkeye too. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
that's what I mean.
it's
Is
still-
but I still don't feel like it evens
it's
out.
gonna warrant it. Oh, all right,
Okay,
interesting.
okay.
All right, interesting. So after this point, once again, the big problem is the fact again, everybody knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, causing chaos for both MJ and Ned because they just so happen to be friends with him. So being friends with a world criminal is not, you know, like
not
really,
ideal.
that's not a great
Yeah.
thing, you know.
That's not
So-
good on the old application.
No.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So speaking of the application, so now that they're all seniors in high school, they have all applied to MIT, which also happened to be Tony Stark's, alma mater. He was a graduate from MIT. Turns out they don't get into MIT due
Not
to the
one of
fact,
them,
once
yeah.
again, to the controversy. They, MIT, which is, I mean, fair on MIT's part. They don't want to be associated with such a huge controversy, you know, in a weird way. But again, at the end of the day, Peter sees this as a huge problem. This is all because of him. You know, they're not getting into these schools because of stuff that he did, stuff that, that happened because he's Spider-Man.
Yep.
So, due to this fact, instead of going and calling MIT, he goes
goes to the
first to the doctor. Yeah, because he sees a little
Doctor.
Halloween decoration of Doctor Strange. Looks like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So he goes to the doctor and he pleads with him and he basically asks him, hey, can everybody just, like, can we do something? Is there a spell or something? And turns out the little twist from the trailers too, Wong in the trailers said, no way, Strange, don't do that spell. But in the actual movie, they twisted it to where Wong says, all right, do it, but, just keep me out of it, basically.
Yeah.
And so the spell goes on, and let's just say it definitely goes out with several hitches. Because the main caveat is the fact that anybody that knows Spider-Man will forget he is Peter Parker. That's just the way it works. So both MJ, Ned, what's her name? Aunt May, Happy, all of the Avengers, literally every single person that has ever met Spider-Man will forget that he is Peter Parker.
Yep.
Which is kind of sad because, we've seen him in Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War.
He's
all
had
of this
those-
has just been wiped for him,
all
which is
those
really,
connections, yeah.
really sad.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the fact that it's been wiped for him?
Well,
Everybody's memory,
Yeah.
like all these awesome stuff that we know.
The
they don't.
first time or the second time? Because the first time it was making me anxious every time he would make him change the spell.
The first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, shut up, and
Right.
Yeah.
and then you can just tell that it's just getting harder and harder every time you're just switching it and
Yeah.
adding more.
And so that's
was
what
like,
happens is basically he's conducting the spell. Peter doesn't agree with it. He realizes how much of a mistake it is. He keeps saying things which keeps ruining the spell and turns into a literally reality breaking event.
Yeah.
Which turns out it actually opened up the multiverse for a few seconds, enough to let some people in and some people out.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, he contains it inside of a little spell thing, but he reveals, actually I did let people in. You guys gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then he just goes on the wild goose chase, which he gets that cool little gauntlet thing.
And
Yeah.
but first.
Zap him back.
First he talks to, of course, the MIT. He tries to talk to the MIT commissioner, get some news, so that way he can get the friends back in.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Strange is actually like, how about you call him and start calling me sir? Don't call me Steven anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Which is
mad
a
at
pretty
him,
big
dude.
moment.
Yeah, that was a good sequence.
He's
Yeah.
mad at him. But no, how about and that leads us to the
To the big
fight
scene,
on the bridge.
exactly. So he's trying to talk to one of the admissions, I guess, or higher ups. I don't remember what specifically she is. She's like a dean of
Admin or something.
She's like the
Yeah.
assistant dean,
of something,
or like the
student
provincial
activities or something like that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the provincial,
Something
there.
And so Peter basically tries to meet up with her. She's stuck in traffic on a freeway trying to get to a flight.
Yep.
Peter basically runs to in the middle of a gridlocked highway to try and talk to her and try and convince her basically that she should be letting the friends in, his friends in because they did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But then we get the huge reveal of Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in and
Oh,
His intro was menacing.
How did you guys
yeah.
feel
The way it was
about that, man?
roping
The
through the
arms
bridge.
Yeah.
going through and it was cracking underneath,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
slowly coming through. How did you
Yeah.
guys feel about that reveal of Doc Ock?
Badass, dude.
Yeah.
Badass.
It was good. It was really
It
good.
was bad.
And then
I just loved how in this movie every time you saw Peter's spider sense go off, like you immediately felt the suspense
I like
of like the whole scene and like the upcoming like danger.
So that's
like,
one
like
thing-
you felt it really well.
that's one thing I feel like they've done very, very good, especially with these movies, is the genuine growth and progression of his spider sense.
Yeah.
Because now it's reached a level where he can tell something that's going to happen multiple steps ahead of time. Then, which is something later,
just
which
like
we'll
in
talk
the
about.
apartment.
Exactly, which is the
That was
apartment
great,
scene.
too.
But of course, we
There's
get the
so
battle.
much in this movie that
We get the battle that's so sick on the highway,
yeah.
left and right, with arms going, and it gets revealed that of course Doc Ock can use Peter's nanotech, but it gets revealed that Peter can actually still control it because Stark Tech is far more advanced. You know, it's far more suited, and you know, it's just, and that's, I feel like it's something interesting that I've been reading a lot about. Is many people have been coming up with theories saying that Stark is one of the biggest factors of what makes these universes so different.
Yeah.
Because Stark genuinely makes so much more tech, and makes that universe more advanced than others. You know, as we other
and it's
Marvel
cool
movies that we've seen.
It's cool
absolutely.
too because in Doc Ock's universe, which is like the like the older one, it was 2000. I can't remember, but early 2000s. Not in Doc Ock's movie, so not in Spider-Man 2, but in the first one, when Peter's talking to Norman about like after they graduate high school, he's like, I actually read all your like papers on nanotech.
exactly.
So like nanotech did exist in that world even before this one.
But it was like in its
And
like,
it's like-
building blocks.
It's almost like in
stages,
its infancy.
Whereas
Yeah,
like
it's very,
Tony,
very
Tony,
early.
the mind that he was
It was
like,
just
no, this
theories
is
Far more
at that
advanced,
point.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
any
it was
universe
just-
that basically has Tony Stark has that edge above any other universe because like they have the tech. You know, he just gives them the tech.
Yeah.
But anyways, so after that, it's revealed he can control Doc Ock. He basically puts him to rest. He controls his arms. You know, like everything's okay. But then out of the background, we hear a laugh.
Yeah.
We see a
menacing.
little green and orange ball rolling down the freeway, and we get the reveal of Green Goblin himself, man, with the laugh and everything. And right before they're about to
OG
duke it out,
OG
poof,
suit,
he
yeah.
just disappears. Dude, what a tease, man!
Which was-
what a tease.
The best case scenario for our guy, because he would have gotten like destroyed,
Straight
dude,
right off
because
the
he
bat.
just got off of a fight
Yeah.
and he's got to take on the Goblin now.
That's true.
So
But
it
then
was
he
in the
also had the
completely-
arms, the other arms with
Yeah.
him, like on his side. So
Yeah.
That's also
imagine.
kind of true.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, no. So possibly that could have been a really good fight.
But anyway, so they get pulled back into the Sanctum Sanctorum, basically the Doctor Strange's main hub, in which they talk about the fact that now they've revealed basically everything. All of the villains have squeaked. They've pulled in multiple. Anybody that knows Peter Parker basically has been pulled in. You know, that's weird way that the spell has kind of wonked out. But Strange gives him this task: get everybody back here. Let's send them back so they can die. And Peter doesn't agree with that. Like, that's his big issue, is that the fact that he doesn't want them to die. You know, he doesn't want to go through the same thing.
Yeah.
And of course, he goes back. He collects Sandman and Electro, which was such a great scene, by the way.
I love how they show Electro with his like intro music. Well, like not his intro music, but it's just like when he appears on screen, like he's got that bass guitar, whichever it is.
His sound,
His a sound that like pops up. You're like, oh shit, okay.
And it's cool the way that he like comes in blue, and then he starts taking like this world's kind of like power, and it's like different for him, and he likes it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And then also the dirt is like shifting in the background the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that Sandman actually helps Peter this time around. You know, he recognizes him as, Peter Parker. He's like, I know you, Spider-Man. Let me help you. So they work together. They manage to stop Electro. And even afterwards, they both get sent to this basically prison, because now there's a prison that they're holding all of these villains. And
Which
then
is in-
Peter... What?
Doctor Strange's basement.
By the way, which is like, there's like...
And Ned and
half
MJ are
laundry
also
room, half
there,
whatever.
just like helping, like track them down and stuff like
Right,
that,
right.
like being on a team.
But like, man, that was what a champ though. After the battle and everything, he was still like, yeah, I'm gonna stay here and like fix this because I don't want to get in more trouble. You know?
Yeah.
Like that was pretty cool. Like that's a great small detail.
He's like, before they blame something else on me.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of slowly puts it together with his webs.
Yeah.
But also, how'd you guys like his suit being turned inside out. Before, did you think it was turned inside out, or didn't we all kind of think it was like a Doctor Strange kind of mat? Well, like
I thought
like
it was a Doctor Strange thing.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Well,
it was inside.
I didn't know that it was.
I'll say this because like for the concepts that like came out for like this suit, like there were, because I don't think there were any like different kind of wires like poking off of it and stuff. It was like a flat black and like gold. Yeah. So it actually looked like a suit that was like designed to like be something else. Yeah, and then plus there was something coming out of the spider at first for all the concepts, and it kind of looked like a little Doctor Strange type of sorcery going on.
Yeah.
So I think they like intentionally like fooled us pretty good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so after this, we get a very interesting couple of scenes in which we see a focus on Green Goblin. Mm-hmm. So he's basically in the alleyway by himself, almost essentially having a conversation with Norman and and Green Goblin. You know, they're basically like talking back and forth. And Norman actually, so we think, takes control, you know, and he breaks the mask, the Green Goblin mask, the iconic mask that we all know and love. And he runs to feast over, you know, basically the homeless rescue organization that Aunt May runs. And Peter gets a call. Turns out one of his friends, so-called friends, is over there. He freaks out. You know, he's like, oh, God, like, hell no. Like, I don't want this. Shows up. But Norman is just, like, fine. You know, he wants help more than anything. Like, he comes off as this lost, almost, like, just completely, like, hopeless man, lonely man that just wants help. Like, he just wants to see his son. He wants, you know, he wants help. And how did you guys feel about that scene in particular? Because he genuinely, like, pulled at the heartstrings, you know? Like, what great acting. What do you guys think about that?
Immediately, I was kind of like, okay. This is a front of some kind. Because I just had, like, you have a good feeling it's the type of character he is that, I mean, earlier we mentioned it's a good thing, like you said, it's a good thing Spider-Man didn't fight Goblin on the highway. I think it was actually a bad thing because I think it gave Osborn the opportunity to spin his lies
and to research.
Whereas maybe if they did fight, maybe he knows, hey, this dude's bad, just send him back. But then because Osborn kind of like influences him differently, he's able to kind of like change his heart, which kind of like makes everything unfold like later on. So I think I just think it was like immediately I was like, okay, like it's sad, but like it's not. Yeah. Because I know, like, he's definitely up to something.
Because, like, that's a pretty good point, because, like, that was really, like, the kind of tipping point of, like, all right, so maybe these guys can be saved, and, like, that they can be changed. And it was all because of the dual personality that this guy was giving off of, like, all right, so he's technically, like, getting possessed by this Green Goblin, but he's actually, like, this, like, frightful, like, old man that's just, like, that just wants to go
and
back.
If we look at, because all three of those dudes that were in the Raimi Spider-Verse, Doc Ock, Osborn, and Sandman, the only two that really had the changes of heart were Doc Ock and Sandman. The one who pretended like he did was Norman. And then he tried to kill Spider-Man, and then he killed himself. Spoiler, sorry.
But alrighty, so after this point, we get some very interesting scenes. Something that's actually very huge for the Marvel Universe. So they come back, you know, Peter now has all of the villains in Strange's basement, and Strange and Peter have this sort of altercation in which Peter wants to save everybody, and Strange doesn't. He believes that this is their fate, period. There's nothing you can do about these villains. This is just how it is, and this is how it's supposed to be, because if you save them, like, you're going to change everything, you know, it's different. So they disagree, and they fight, which is crazy because they immediately take it to the mirror dimension. And we see all sorts of craziness in New York. Like, everything's broken, everything's split apart, there's buildings everywhere. They're mainly fighting on a subway as well in the sky.
That was sick, though.
They even transfer to the Grand Canyon. They're just webbing left and right and just fighting. And also, like, outside of the Sanctum Sanctorum, they were, like, webbing and fighting.
Yeah, but great use of portals. Also, right before that starts, though, there's a cool part where, like, Doctor Strange pushes, like, Peter Parker out of Spider-Man.
Body, right.
And then, like, he's like, still able to, like, dodge Doctor Strange with his Spidey sense.
Right.
That was cool how they, like, visualized his Spidey sense. Like
the lines, you can actually see the lines.
So and, like, as his eyes are, like, about to close, pretty much, and he's still going, like...
Yeah.
But it just goes to show how deep his Spidey sense goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That just
Like,
keeps progressing.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's
not only
getting
that,
better.
but like he also had control in the astral form.
Yeah.
Because he floated out, unlike Banner and Strange, they were just kind of stuck there until the Ancient One pulled him in. Wait, Ancient,
or like
right?
pulled him back.
Yeah. Ancient One pulled him in.
And he like
But he
kinda swam back.
swam by himself and controlled it, which is crazy, dude. Like crazy to think he could do that.
Yeah.
But of course, this battle happens, and at the end, of course, Peter managed to outsmart Strange using maths, which is one of your favorite line. Go on, and so let's hear your bit about it.
Yeah, so he realizes that like it's just like a geometric like shape and everything has like some form of consistency. So he uses that against Strange, and basically escapes, traps Strange, and says, "You know what's cooler than magic? Math." And I don't want to nitpick, but I'm going to. That line was just not it. Like, it was so cool what he did, and then that almost tarnished it a little bit.
Yeah.
By, like, doing that.
But
just
like,
a little.
But, like, do you think that, like, that was supposed to come off as, like, sarcastic? Because it's, like, everybody knows that, like,
Maybe, yeah.
like, talking about fucking math and, like,
way
doing
cooler.
math is, like, really not very cool. It's actually very hard, like, at, like, the complex levels. It gets super hard, so it's not that cool, right? So, like, I don't know if that's what he was going for, or that he actually thinks it's cool. But
I think,
but he probably thinks it's cool. Yeah,
because
no,
he is,
like,
he
I
is,
think
like,
he thinks it's
extremely
cool.
smart. But
Yeah,
I can guarantee, like, out of, let's say that theater has 100 people, I mean, like, at least 95 are like, no, magic's cooler than
yeah.
math. Like, whatever you can all-
I like math,
But-
and magic is still infinitely cooler than math.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so at this point, this is the first time ever that we see Peter actually beat Doctor Strange. He outsmarts him. So officially now Peter has a dub against Doctor Strange, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
So after this point, they still have the box and they have the villains. So they decide to team up and go two ways. So Ned and MJ are going to hold onto the box basically as a backup plan. If anything goes wrong, they're going to press a button and send everybody back. While Peter, meanwhile, is trying to fix everybody. Basically make every villain normal, back to normal. You know, no more sand powers, no more giant dinosaur, no more, no more craziness in the head from, from gas. No more arms controlling or speaking in your head. You know, basically fixing everybody.
Yeah.
So he takes them back to Happy's apartment because Stark has a fabricator, which can, basically, make
It's like the most advanced 3D printer.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Just
no,
a
yeah.
hella
They can make
extra
anything,
3D
right?
printer. Exactly,
They
yeah,
can
pretty
make
much.
anything.
So he starts off by fixing Doc Ock. And interestingly enough, dude, what a heartfelt moment. When
Yeah.
he
That was a
comes
cool
down, he's
scene,
like,
though.
and
That
he's
was
like, I just hear silence. Like,
Yeah.
I don't hear any voices. Like,
Yeah.
holy crap, dude.
It
what a
was
great
it was
scene.
actually cool when he was working with William Dafoe.
Yeah,
Right, they were working
and,
together,
like trying to solve that.
solving everybody.
Yeah, no,
and they-
and-
That was cool.
And like it was cool too, cause I think he told Peter, like a thing like cause like just if you ever are like trying to find a job and like
Yeah,
are
like,
willing to
come
go
work at
to a
Oscorp.
different dimension,
Yeah.
like I got a job waiting for you. Yeah.
right,
As well as Electro realizes that the power in this universe is so much better than the power in his, because
Right.
the one little arc reactor that was just kind of like Iron Man's thing is enough for him to just take him over like the top. So.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's so cool to me too that like that actually makes sense
that
in
they're
the
taking advantage
storyline.
of it, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it makes sense because like you're like, oh well, the only reason that like the technology is more advanced is because these movies were made later. But like not really, because like it makes sense because this is the main timeline.
Right. And that's why it comes down to Stark. you
Yeah,
know,
that's
like,
why it
in
comes
the
down to
tech.
Stark. Like Stark is a focal point. He's an absolute point. This is the main timeline where like all energy is like funneled and traveled through. That is why like the advances are like, the way that they are like on Earth. Like Earth was supposed to survive. Stark was supposed to do like all these things. So it just
Right.
it makes perfect like linear sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. So everybody gets fixed again. They basically make fixings for everybody, or at least try to. But then Max, or Electro, kind of gets selfish. He realizes as his fixing equipment is starting to charge up, that he likes it. He likes the power. He likes the way he looks. He likes the different feel of this universe. Why am I going to give that up? You know, which makes sense. You know, from anybody's standpoint, it's like it genuinely makes sense. And then it is revealed out out of nowhere, as they're working on something, Peter has this spidey sense, which is different than anything we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because this was very long and very drawn out and very focused on just Peter.
And I like that part a lot because it focuses on like Peter
Something
like
big
slowly
is happening.
connecting the dots to like, wait a minute. And he's just
trying to
thinking
reveal
more and
what's
more,
going
more
and
more.
then, but I don't know if you.
Then he like really hones in on like why and then what was wrong.
But there.
And he stops Goblin.
But I don't know if you guys remember, but
I
as
think,
he's walking out and as he's passing and he's going into the main kitchen area where Willem is or Green Goblin, he says, "May." He says a question mark with a question mark, and then he keeps going, and then he finally makes it to where he's at, and then turns out Green Goblin has a speech already prepared as after Spidey webs him up, webs his hand, and it's revealed that Osborn still is Goblin. He just basically says the same thing Max says. Why am I going to give this up? You know, why we have all this? Our
like, these are all
our
gifts.
powers are not. You know,
like
birds,
curses.
gifts.
Yeah.
Exactly. Changing everybody's mind quite literally in a second, and all of them almost turn, except for Otto, Doc Ock. He's the only one because now that he has a clear head, you know, he's still thinking fine. He's still okay. But everybody else goes to town, dude, on him, on this apartment.
Just go berserk,
goes left and right, and one of the main ones who focuses on this battle, honestly, is Green Goblin. He's determined at this point to completely break Peter. That's his end goal at this point, is to completely break down Peter, literally and figuratively. He literally breaks him through the wall like wrestling moves. He literally slams him straight through, and he's taking a beating in the face while laughing as he's taking punches, and it all ends when they finally make it to the bottom floor with May, and the sad ending that May, sadly, huge spoiler warning, passes. She takes a hit from the glider, as just like Norman originally did. But man, she takes an ugly hit.
This is a brutal fight sequence.
On top of the hit, she takes a Green Goblin bomb.
Pumpkin,
pumpkin, and she gets up. She asks if Peter's okay, and then all of a sudden she staggers, lays, and it's revealed that she's bleeding.
Yeah, but
heavily.
They did it justice because you actually, Pod Daddy Drew, you predicted this, and I thought you were kind of crazy for doing that. And when that happened and she just gets up, I'm like, dude, they pussed out. They're not going to do it.
That's what I thought too.
They wimped out. I was like, no, that's so flaky. And then they hit you with it.
And when they hit,
it was a late reaction.
I think we can all agree, man, that was a very powerful scene. And she finally, you know, she says the word for word comic accurate line of, you know, which we've seen in Spider-Man 1, you know, if you have great power comes great responsibility. But again, more comic accurate.
With great power there comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Should have broke up with Happy.
Bitch. How'd you guys feel about
but
that?
like Goblin, like throughout the scene, dude.
Yeah, man. This was
really...
I think this was a good scene for Goblin. I'm not gonna lie, I was in a few, was not in the majority, that I wasn't like devastated that she died. I was just kind of like, okay, because I don't think her roles are that big, in my opinion, in previous movies. Obviously, she was important to Peter, but I wasn't like, oh no. I was just kind of like, oh, that sucks. Like, you know, poor...
I think that was the biggest thing for me, too, that I felt bad, like, a lot more for Peter than I did about the character dying.
Yeah, I was kind of like, okay.
Like,
you know, because let's be real, like, nobody really, like, not that they didn't care about her, but everybody's like, yo, May's hot. That was like her biggest thing. Was that like, her and maybe even Tony, maybe even Happy might have fucking
Eiffel Tower.
But
in the tower,
she just had no emotional value to me to the point where I was like, damn, that was rough.
I mean,
her. I actually really liked her. Like every time we did get to see her, and like I kind of wish we like got to like see her more in like the other two.
Yeah, especially because she was so different. Because she knew that he was Spider-Man. It was really cool.
So like seeing her die, like I thought I was like, oh damn, like that sucks.
Yeah.
But it was mostly like set in for me to where it's like, God, like this is sad, and I feel really bad for like Peter. And this just kind of set into me. It's like, whoa, this movie has consequences. Like,
I like
people
that.
can die. So I felt like if anything, it made you kind of sit at the edge of your seat a little bit more because we're not used to people just dying.
Yeah.
So
especially side
that
characters.
big, or like a big side character like that.
Yeah. So
really
if
big character.
anything, like I thought that was a good aspect.
But
to
I'm
add
glad
to the
they
movie.
did it though, because the
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is that
I am
I'm
too.
I'm also glad because it's his like heartbreak on
Yeah.
screen that we've been missing.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's be real. Like, the Spider-Man that got it right was the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they killed Gwen.
Oh yeah.
Because how many times did Tobey Maguire have to save MJ in the first 3? Like 8.
Mhm.
And every time she lived.
Yeah.
How many times did he have to save Aunt May? Like 4 times. Every time she lived.
Yeah.
Same thing with Tom Holland. Like, he was just this kid, and he was in this, like, world where he was kind of, like, in a safe world. He had Tony Stark as his boy. The
All
only
the
one that really
Avengers to back
captured it
him up.
well
Yeah.
was, in my opinion, The Amazing Spider-Man, where they give you Gwen, and they make you like that relationship, and then she smacks her head on the pavement like a fucking... I don't know, like, she just... And she dies. She dies. So, and that's why it was good that you bring in this emotional value, because Marvel sometimes falls short of bringing in sorrowful, like, feelings. So I'm glad they brought that in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, so going off of that, now at that point, of course, she's passed. Peter kind of goes off. Understandably so. He lost the person that basically raised him. You know, that we know of.
And like, it was even more sad because like you didn't get to stay there, like take care of her.
Exactly. He even
got
bring
shot
her,
at.
bring
You know,
her
and so-
to a safe place.
On a side note,
like Floyd didn't get to mourn her like there.
On a side note, I also want to bring up, this reminded me a lot of emotions of like Infinity War, almost as if like that acting feeling when he was like seeing her dying. It reminded me of when Peter was getting blipped.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, please, like I don't want to go, Stark. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
It was like the same thing where he was looking down at her and he was like, no, please, come on,
Yeah.
get up. Like, it was like denial, denial of like, no, come on, like you're good.
I do
What
have
you
to
doing?
touch up though too,
What are you
like
doing? It was awesome. Great
Oh,
emotion.
yeah.
dude.
I didn't really think that
great
they pushed
emotion.
out. I had a feeling it was gonna happen because I was like, dude, she just got hit by the glider. Like,
Dude,
people
once
don't
I
make
saw
that,
that too, I was like, damn, like
And she took a.
I'm pretty sure she's dead, right?
yeah, no,
That's what I thought,
in the
too.
back of my head, I was like, she's definitely gonna bleed out somewhere and die.
But
for sure.
But like then once I saw her get up, I was like, all right, so she's not gonna die. But then when she started to like stagger off, I was like, oh shit.
She didn't look good
Once
in
I
general.
saw her get up, and I was like, all right, like I didn't think she
Because
was gonna
if
die.
she lived from that, then I would have been like, obviously she should just be Spider-Man then.
Yeah.
Because, like,
No, yeah, cause
yeah, because I mean she's literal human, like just taking a glider and then a pumpkin. And it's like, oh.
But like going up to this scene, like can we just talk about Green fucking Goblin strength that he has and like
I love
durability.
The explosions
Yeah.
with like the fire at
Oh, yeah.
night and stuff like that. The green fire looked great, dude. Like,
Yeah, I didn't
no.
think he was that strong.
Everybody looked great.
He didn't look that strong in the first one, so I was like, when I saw it in this one, I
Or
was
well,
But he's
like, there's
supposed
a
to be
couple
though,
times,
because like that's what
like,
the
that
Goblin
like-
Serum does.
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
boosts his strength. It like boosts everything.
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah,
that's why it like
because he
surprised
put him
me.
through like
Yeah.
like pretty much like every single floor of the building.
dude, which is
Because like first he
crazy.
did a couple to where he tossed him up and then grabbed him and just sent him through like 4 floors and then he
that
kept
was a
doing
cool fight scene.
Also,
Yeah.
was there nobody
Yeah,
else
it was-
living in that building?
I know.
They went through like 8 rooms and
Yeah.
like
it. It was like a
nobody-
Stark building, I think, right?
Let's,
Like
It
it
was-
was
no,
like
it was
a company owned
It
building.
was Favreau's like place. Like,
Yeah.
where he
Oh,
was,
okay.
like,
fancy
happiest.
apartment. But all right, let's
Yeah.
keep going since we're running short on time. We gotta wrap it up soon. But next, so again, we after this whole scene, basically everybody runs off. All the villains are free. It's, Parker is sad, broken. We switch back to May and Ned, in which turns out after the battle between Strange and Spider-Man, Spider-Man yoinked the ring off of Strange, which is basically controlling or able to open portals between dimensions and stuff like that, as well as travel throughout Earth and stuff like that. Makes it quicker. Turns out they're sitting having a conversation, just talking sad, missing Peter. Missing him so much that he kind of waved his hands in the air, and little does he know when he does that, a little spark shows up.
What a reveal.
And slowly,
And he says, like, I wish I could see
I wish
him.
I could see him, as he,
Yeah.
as he said that.
Yeah.
So MJ saw the spark, she got excited, told him, do it again. He does it, and the reveal happens, and
Yeah.
we get the amazing
We see him through an
Spider-Man.
alleyway.
through
Yeah,
a portal
yeah.
in an alleyway,
Yeah.
suited up. He has everything, his full mask on and everything. He just looks over to the side,
And he's like,
an open portal. He's like, what the
He's
hell?
like, what the
Shout
hell
out
is
to
that?
the
Walk straight
theater
through.
experience. though.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
God,
absolutely. I
dude.
think everybody
You're
can
right,
agree.
dude.
Our,
It was great.
Everyone can
erupting,
agree
crazy,
that, like-
clapping, going nuts,
Yeah.
dude. It was awesome. Great goosebumps.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Dude.
dude.
Beautiful.
And he looked
And then-
lost, which is cool.
And
Like,
then,
he looked
and
like,
then
where am
MJ
I?
has this test where she's like, "Show me," and then he like sticks himself to the roof, and then she's like, walk on the roof, come on. Yeah, and throws the bread at him as well.
He's like,
and he's
stop
like,
throwing bread at
he's
me.
like,
she's like, don't you have
Why
a
aren't you
spidey
catching
sense?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, not for bread.
Yeah, no.
Which is an awesome
Yeah.
line. Such a very amazing Spider-Man line.
Yeah.
But it's
And
also
then-
like that's his thing though, because he's very like quick like that, very
He's
like
very
quick with the one-liners,
charismatic.
very
He's
charismatic.
born with charisma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
oh
we
my
get
God.
the reveal. He does it one more time, trying to get Tom Holland's Peter Parker. She does it again, and we get the reveal of Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
Fully
so the theater
dressed.
didn't have enough again. And
Yeah, going crazy, and his, he just kind of walks in, and everybody's kind of looking around, like, well, what's going on?
Being very polite too. He's
Yeah.
like,
And then both him
where
and
am I? What's going on? here?"
Garfield and Maguire have this sort of standoff because their spidey tingles kind of go off, and they just kind of go at each other, and they're like, oh,
No, yeah, that was
we're the same. What do you know? But then on top of that, he's like, so what are you, a youth pastor? Like, what's going on? He says that line, like, so you're going as a youth pastor. And
Toby's just
and
got
then,
like, yeah.
dude, but what a slight, like, small little, like, excitement thing where he just pulls it down, and it's like, right, you just see like the edge of the
that
suit.
old
It's
like
just like,
Grammy suit right
Ooh,
there.
boy, man.
God, man.
And then at this point, all of the Peters get together. They have a little powwow with, of course, our Tom Holland, because he is broken.
Heart to heart.
And, they all kind of relate to each other, of course, because they've all lost Ben. They've all lost, Amazing Spider-Man lost Gwen. Like, they've lost something, so they all have this moment together, and they group up. They finally have this moment. They're like, you know what? Let's save them all. Let's go with your plan. They all sit in the lab. They all come up with their ideas. Such a great moment, by the way. Left and right, they're all talking.
I thought it was a great moment. Like, I thought the dialogue was great, and first of all, I didn't think we would get this much dialogue with any of them. Like, I thought it was just gonna be like a fight scene and that's it. But Ned has a really funny part with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, where he asks, like, wait, so have you had, like,
your best friend?
Yeah. And he, like, tells him this tragic story, and then Andrew Garfield
he says specifically, he's like, well, yeah, I had a best friend. He's like, he tried to kill me, and then he died in my arms.
And
it was tragic.
It was tragic.
It was heartbreaking.
And then Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was like, dude.
But I think it's also important to point out, though, that they tried to relate to Tom Holland and be like, we know what you're going through, and he snapped saying, don't you even dare think you know what I'm going through. You have no idea. And I'm like,
that's exactly what they
boy,
said.
the whole thing I'm thinking in my head is like, oh my god, you
That's
better
what they
sit down
said,
and
too.
shut your mouth, bro, because you're about to go through some history, because us as fans know more what they've gone through than you. Okay.
Which I feel like they like do a good job of like relating to.
Yeah,
them,
of
right?
course.
Because
And it didn't feel
they're
forced,
they're the only ones that
In my
can.
head, I was like, you want to know what Andrew Garfield
It's
gone
like-
through? Just grab MJ and throw her down, smack
But it's
her.
like,
And then
at the
even-
same time, it's
even
like, do you really
before
think
that-
these guys don't know? It's like, bro, they're wearing your costume.
And then
It's
even
like-
before that, like you see Tobey Spider-Man take the lead on like, no, like I just feel like we have to help him. Where's your Peter at? Like, where do you think he would go?
Yeah, and he very much like
and
has that sense.
he does kind of take that like role on like starting it by being like, hey, dude,
He's very much the
we've
dad
all
of the group,
gone through it.
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And they all like flex in that scene where they're all talking. They all flex their big brains. They're all coming up with the cures basically to fix everybody, which is so awesome to see all of their because
Dude,
that's
like
the thing
just
about
like
Peter.
bouncing off ideas
that-
off each other is like
He's
it's
such a
so
Which
smart
is,
guy,
in my
yeah.
opinion,
And so
somewhat
nice.
new though to Tobey Maguire, because in his Spider-Man he doesn't do that. He was just like I got powers, I gotta fight. That was like his thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of got more or less like the Amazing Spider-Man feels, because he was the one that came up with these ideas.
that
he
was
was the tinker, and it was good that we like got him. Got to see him put like the goggles on again, because it's like that's a really cool scene in Amazing Spider-Man. Wait, one or two?
It was.
Oh,
it was honestly both of them.
Oh, both. But two, because he's trying to figure out a way for his webs don't like blow up.
Yeah.
But like still, just seeing them all powwow and like talking all that is just awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
Toby Spider-Man though, cause they would talk about it back in like those kind of movies, but like they like didn't really give us like his big brain side of him.
Yeah,
like
not
only,
too much.
It was like very small, but
Just his poetry.
yeah, just poetry.
Yeah, which is really, really great to see in this movie. And then finally, they come up with their gadgets and they decide to take him on.
Yeah.
take them on, I should say, these villains at the Statue of Liberty. Which, by the way, interestingly enough, how do you guys feel about this? In this universe, currently, the Statue of Liberty is being restored. It seems to be, the green copper that is oxidized on it has been scraped off, so now it is clean copper. And they added Captain America's shield for some reason. How do you guys feel about that? What do you guys think about the Statue of Liberty with the shield?
I didn't mind the shield.
Yeah, no, like
Cap does a lot in that world.
Okay.
So
yeah, no, yeah, no. I don't think I was bothered by it either. But I've seen a lot of things on like Twitter, TikTok. He's like, "Yo, what's going on with this like big ass shield being put on the statue? This bullshit." And it was like, dude, it's like you have to put yourself in that world, and it's like Captain America was like an impactful like guy like in this world. So I don't know. It made sense.
I don't know. I guess I didn't really like. Not that I didn't care, but it was just kind of like it's kind of weird because. The statue is not even American. It was given to us by the French.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not just build a Captain America statue? Or maybe, keep the torch there, because the torch is supposed to symbolize, like, the whole, like, history about it. Maybe just put it on her back, like Cap did. I mean, I don't see why she had to have it, like, in her hand. Because, I mean, not saying that, like, we hate the French or anything, but I feel as though it was almost just like, hey, like, thanks for this, but, like, we're gonna do this. Yeah, I was just kind of like,
but
okay.
also, maybe the shield might not be there anymore because it made one hell of a final battle scene.
Yeah.
So, which was a sick little battle stage that they had. Like, I was in, like, a game.
So let's get into it. They're all kind of sitting there, prepped to warming up. They have another little bit of a powwow. In which Tobey Maguire calls Andrew Garfield amazing several times.
All right, I actually like this because I thought that because hold on because Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is clearly feeling very alone, very has lost almost everything.
Yeah,
and but
it's been beaten down by the fans, beaten down by the critics, and the character itself has been beaten down, taken, and they basically like taken so much from him that it's like, okay, hey, this guy's gotta hear it, man.
But then make it a serious part.
I like
Don't
that
make
more,
it a cheap joke.
I didn't think it was a cheap joke.
It was.
Like
you can't quadruple down.
I thought it was a
pick
me up. It was a pick me up of like.
Then why did the whole theater laugh hysterically? if you would have went like Andrew, like truly, like you were amazing, and like kind of like lifted him up,
heartfelt.
I think if they,
if
they did it that way, I think it would have came off cornball.
This was infinitely more cornball. This was a very poorly written.
I think this was like.
I think I might side with Nick at this time.
It was so. It wasn't even doubled down. If you doubled down, it would have been fine. They like quadruple, quintuple down.
After they did 2, that was the breaking point. Like
when like he was like, "You're amazing," and then he shakes it off.
Yeah.
Or if he would have been like, "You're amazing" in a funny way, and then Andrew shook it off, and then he was like, "No, like genuinely, you were amazing." It's the way the fans would have felt. Like, "Oh, like you're amazing," and then when he's like, "No," then he's like, "No, actually, like we misunderstood you. Like, you're amazing.
You really are amazing."
But it just feels like a tease. Like they're teasing him again.
I don't know, and it's because I just thought it was like Tobey Maguire like kind of saw like on his face that like every time he told him that, because he kept being nah, dude, no, and it's like that's why he couldn't stop saying it, because he visibly saw Garfield like in a pit of like, you think I'm amazing, but I think that I'm really not, and that's why he couldn't stop saying it. That's what I think. And it's like,
I don't know. I don't think it really took away that much out of it, but I just thought that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man like did a good job of like portraying like, damn, like I've already been through so much, and it's nice to be around people that I can trust.
That's one thing I want to talk about. So there was a lot of little moments, but they were like really impactful. So like
super impactful.
So of course the meta joke of Maguire with the back joke, because clearly everybody knows that
that was great.
There was trouble filming Spider-Man the older movies because he had a back injury, which they nodded to in this movie. Andrew Garfield also looks at both of them and he calls them, "You guys are my family," which is such an awesome little scene as well.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
And so as they start fighting as well, obviously the first round doesn't go to plan, because the thing about Spider-Man, which is different about our Spider-Man, our Tom Holland, is that Spider-Man isn't used to fighting in teams. He's a very lonely guy. He's a very solo guy. He's used to just himself. That's what he is. That's who Spider-Man usually, for the most part, tends to be.
Yeah.
But this isn't working this time around. they're getting their ass handed to them. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a scene where somebody like I think Tom Holland whipped, and then Garfield like got clotheslined by it.
Yeah.
They were bumping each other little elbows left and right. You know, it was just a sloppy fight.
Yeah.
So they sit and they have a powwow, and they're like, you know what, we need to get coordinated. Which is, I feel like, such a great moment because both Toby and Andrew had that talk with Peter about losing somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know, they helped him with that information. But now it's switched to where Peter comes in clutch and he's like, well, you two haven't fought in a team. I have.
Yeah.
So take my lead.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then I like that moment where we're like, all right, you're Peter
of them
1,
were, like,
you're
so,
Peter
like,
2,
proud
I'm
of
Peter
him.
2, and then he's
Yeah.
like, Peter 3!
Alright, good job, Peter 3.
It's just like, and he's
It's
like,
like,
and he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, you know, and that's when he has that moment too, where he's like, he's talking to Toby, and he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, you know this tech, and he's like, I'm just helping. You know? Like, I don't know anything about this place.
Yeah.
You know?
And-
And that's when they have that moment. It's like, all right, that's enough. You're Peter 1, 2, 3, you know, 3, and then it's like, all right, let's go.
And
then
I like how Tom's was like, oh well, not to brag, but I was
work
a
with the
part.
Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then like,
oh my god,
Toby
that's
was
great.
like very like, oh my god, that's amazing, but like, what is that?
What is it?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I know. And
What is
then
that, a band?
and then Garfield was like, wait, is that a band? And
Are you
then
in a
like,
band? He's in a band.
Toby does his like, this isn't helping, and like in his like voice,
Like
too.
manic type of like, yeah.
Oh my god.
But such a great moment. They finally get together, and it almost felt like such... Dude, that's why I messaged Nick about it. This moment, to me, in my opinion, felt like an absolute, like, thrill ride, like a roller coaster, when they all, like, they're like, all right, let's go. We see them running together, and then all of a sudden we get the back shot of them three, and they all three
Running.
just jump, and
Oh,
woo! You know,
and
like,
then-
all three of them are, like,
Yeah, all of
whooping,
them
jump down.
with their own style.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
You
it's
know, they're all
like the, between the
finesse.
legs with the up, like
And
it was
everybody
all
webs
perfect.
together, and then
Yeah.
even Garfield webs both of them, pulls them up in a great
Sick.
little move. Like,
Yes.
And
at
then
this
once they
point-
all land on top right there.
Yes,
At
in a
this-
different
Oh
pose.
my
too.
Yeah,
Each of their
like
own,
the
like,
way like
iconic
Toby's
poses.
kind of like
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, like
Yeah, I
Toby's
love
in-
Toby's for whatever
yeah,
reason when I was a kid when he's like that.
I like his
like a gargoyle.
But then they all come up with a plan, work on one at a time, which ends up working. They
Mm-hmm.
manage to take down everybody with their inventions. Lizard bites into the canister of gas that turns him back to normal. Electro gets the what's it called, the capacitor on
Yeah.
him that basically reduces his
Beep, beep.
power. What else happens? Sandman also gets hit with the antidote, which turns him into normal.
It's a
at the
reactor,
top
the
of-
reactor,
a reactor.
the particle reactor.
That
Oh,
turns
that's
him
right,
back to
yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Exactly, spins him back into human particles or
Yeah.
human flesh essentially.
Yeah.
solid. I
And
guess.
then the last one, which is only fitting, is Green Goblin. He is, of course, the first villain that started all of this Spider-Man chaos way back in the 2000s, and now he is the final villain that Peter has to face. And man, what a battle, dude! What a battle.
And Doc Ock was there,
comes
too.
and helps
Yeah.
out as
Yeah.
well, which is awesome to see.
Because he
by the way,
sees
which is
Toby
great.
and he's like,
Yeah.
"How have you been, my?" He says, "My boy," which is kind of cool. And he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Better." He's
Yeah.
like, you know,
Like,
he's like, or
I'm
he
like-
says, "I'm trying to do better."
I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
Like he
And
says
of
in
course,
the second
Peter,
one, though.
like
Yeah.
the first theme comes in.
There's-
Of
there's
course.
so
Oh,
many-
dude, that
Nostalgia.
theme is just so poetic,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Who did that? Was that
Yeah.
John Williams?
No, I'm
No?
not sure.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
As
Such a
well
good-
as I think
such a good
Strange
theme,
is
though.
already entered at this point.
Right, Strange
because-
has re-entered
Yeah.
the battle. Go on, explain.
No, I don't know. I guess the multiverse is opening.
No.
He's on the
Remember, they have the portal there just in case.
Oh,
and
and-
Ned and MJ are standing there, and then Lizard starts chasing them.
Right.
Ned tries to open another one, and when he opens that other one, Strange is like, "I've been hovering over the Grand Canyon for like 6 hours now, or whatever."
Yeah.
It was like 12 hours.
12 hours, yeah.
Which,
Like,
which was like a
yes.
small
And-
ode to Loki, where he's like, "I've been falling for
Yeah.
13 minutes."
Yeah.
And also a side note, I also forgot to mention before they healed everybody. So Andrew Garfield has a very huge moment in which he redeems himself.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a moment where MJ is falling, and that's when, of course, Ned is falling as well, but he gets saved by
By the
Strange's
cape, which is kind
which
of...
is a nod to he might be a wizard later, who knows, or at least some sort of powers. But anyways, so
Maybe a
she's
hobgoblin.
falling. Peter, of course, Tom Holland, Spider-Man 2, jumps down. He's about to get her, and the Goblin Glider, comes in, smacks him away. She's falling to her death. Nobody to save her, but the one person that manages to see her and save her is Garfield. Andrew
Dude, and then
Garfield.
once
What
he
a great
catches
catch.
her, you can
And he
just like
lands-
see.
dude,
like,
and then when we were there at the movies,
eight years of grief.
the
just
audience
Yeah.
pour
went
through his
crazy.
veins.
The
Yeah.
audience went crazy,
Yeah.
like nuts.
That
And
was
you could see
awesome.
like
The
his
urgency
eyes were
on his
teary-
face, though,
and his
'cause-
teary eyed
Yeah,
like
I know.
afterwards and everything. Like the emotions that he had was
Yeah.
beautiful, dude.
But like going for the
Perfect.
dive too, because he didn't pull out the web this time. He
Went for the
because
full
like
dive, yeah.
because like
That was a
this
mistake.
time it was like, all right, like I gotta get to her.
I need
like,
to hit this shit out of the way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I need to go
I gotta
for
hit
it.
this shit out of the way. Like I gotta grab myself.
Line for line, shout out to Andrew Garfield. That fool acted the shit out of like
Yes.
every line
Oh,
he had.
Yeah, no,
But let's
he
go ahead
really
and let's go close this off because we're already going real long.
Damn.
So let's close this
First
off.
2 hour pod.
So the last ending again, we get to see basically Goblin is about to, he's gone off the rails. Peter, Tom Holland is basically beating him to a pulp to the point where he grabs the glider and he's about to stab Green Goblin, and the one person that stops him is Toby.
Oh,
Yeah.
He says,
poetic.
this isn't the way. This isn't what you want to do. Even after he gets stabbed in the back from Green Goblin, Tom Holland turns around and cures Osborn. He saves him. He gets rid of his double personality. His Green Goblin persona is gone now. And now it's just like, it's relief. But the only thing that's left to do is the spell to send everybody back home. But the only caveat is everybody will forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Doctor Strange
what-
creates the same
the
spell
spell,
again.
exactly,
But I
because
think
he
now it's
remakes it.
across universes.
Spell. So which is something.
The spell
that's
I think is
interesting. I don't
across
know.
universes. I think so. Like
Oh, yeah.
Toby's like, how does that work? Like, does that MJ forget then?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't
It's
think
so it's such a weird
Another
like
one.
kind of
It is.
unusual.
little detail. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that happens, and it's kind of a somber moment. Like we see Peter with MJ, and they have a moment where she makes him promise that he's gonna see them afterwards, like and remind her that he is Peter. And basically go back to normal. Later, of course, the spell goes through. Everybody goes back home in a beautiful moment in which, like, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are hugging each other and, like, basically, saying goodbye.
Yeah.
And such a beautiful moment for everybody. Everybody's, like, poofing back left and right. And we're, back to present day in which MJ and Ned have completely forgotten
Strange
about...
even tells Tom Holland, Spider-Man, he says, "I'll see you around, kid." Like almost like, you know what? Like, I will miss the memory of you.
Oh, yeah. of
Which
course,
is crazy.
No,
and,
yeah,
and he
that
tells
was
him to call
a
him
super
Steven, too,
emotional
which
part.
is a
Yeah.
huge moment instead of sure. And then finally, again, we see that final diner scene in which Peter sees MJ and Ned, and he's about to tell them that he is, everything that's happened, and he sees the Band-Aid, and he realizes, that's my fault.
Yeah,
And then he thinks to himself, I'm not going to do that again.
Maybe they are better off.
Maybe this
without
is a better idea without
me.
me.
Yeah, which
And
is
he turns around and...
Which is
leaves.
a very, like,
It's a
okay
very-
thought, but it's somewhat selfish to me because the thing is that it's very one-sided.
It's a very Peter Parker thing
It's
to
a
do,
very-
though,
But it's a very one-sided aspect. They share trauma with each other, and it's very clear that MJ was okay with it. That,
Right.
that's what made their relationship so special.
Mhm.
And
That's a fair
you
point.
essentially took that away from her. And you didn't give her that option to say, yes, I want to be a part of this. Because she could have been like, hey, Peter, like, I like you, but I don't like Spider-Man, I'm done.
Mhm.
But she chose to...
I mean, just
be
like MJ,
hey.
too, and just like
Yeah.
Gwen, too. The same
And-
exact...
And unfortunately, in The Amazing Spider-Man, Gwen said, I know you're Spider-Man, and as many times you love me, but you want to break up with me, I want this. Fortunately, she smacked her head on the pavement. So...
It's not funny, but
so
it's ironic.
So I just think that sucks though, because it's like, man, like Ned is your best friend and he would love to be that guy in the chair for you.
Mhm.
MJ loves you as Peter Parker and loves you even more as Spider-Man.
More as Peter.
Yeah, more as Peter, but loves the fact that you're a Spider-Man though.
Spider-Man,
She's
right,
willing to
yeah.
deal with it, and you don't give her that chance. That kind of makes me a little upset.
Yeah, but this is like
it is upsetting, but I feel like at
It's a
the
very
same
Peter
time
move.
it's a very Peter move.
Yeah.
Like
which-
trying to
which-
be heroic, that it's also somewhat naive.
Yeah.
Trying to close them off because you're like, oh, they're better off without me. Like I don't want them to be put through this.
Which
Yeah.
is
Which
his
can set up-
which is his like thought.
Which can set up the
which is
future,
his,
though.
thought.
Yeah.
Which can set up the future, though, of MJ coming back and being like, if something were to spark, small
Yeah,
detail,
maybe
she was
fruitcake.
still wearing the Black Dahlia
That's what
necklace.
she needs.
She was, yeah.
I mean, so that, there's little details that Peter still had an effect in her life. Maybe if she were to return, or, which is still up in the air. It hasn't been talked about, but I mean, it's most likely because, like, they need to kind of redeem the fact that, like, she still deserves a choice. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
they both still
Absolutely.
deserve that choice.
No,
Yeah.
they do.
You know, so I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that they can touch on. But
For sure.
more than anything, I love, and I've talked about this a lot. I love that the ending related, or ended on the note that Tom comes home to an empty apartment, dude.
Like
he
a
has
crappy
nothing.
studio.
He has absolutely
Nothing there.
dirt, nothing, which is so awesome because, like, this is the hero that all of us can relate to. You know, somebody
Yeah, it's
that's
like
dirt broke,
now it's
that has
Spider-Man.
absolutely nothing. That some kid like any of us could be living in New York that has absolutely damn near nothing, just a bed and a box and a desk.
Yeah,
but
this
still
isn't
out
Tony
there.
Stark's like godson anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the true essence of who Peter is and who everybody can relate to. Somebody that has nothing, that's willing to like give up like what little they have just to still be Spider-Man and to help out the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to see this scene and like to see it, and not only that, we also get the reveal of the classic Spider-Man suit at the end with the light blue and red, of course, with the logo and everything. And not
I think
he was
there's
moving
been
quick.
like HD pictures that
Have there?
come out about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But-
that's awesome.
I need to
But
see
such a
them because I
beautiful
couldn't
ending.
really see like.
It was hard to
It
see
is-
dudes
it is close to-
moving
it
and he's
is
like
close
jumping
to
out of
the-
a
It was very
window.
fast.
It was very
yeah,
close to
it
the
looked
comic
kind of
book
animated
Yeah.
from what I was
Original.
looking, so I want to see it again. Like I need to see like what it actually.
But
looks like.
beautiful ending. I loved. I know the ending for many people has been very controversial, but for me in particular, I love it because it relates to us as people that we're like just broke human beings that are trying to live our lives, and trying to do
be
the
better.
best with what we got. And on top of that,
That's a good look
it's
at it.
this hero that's been through everything and still willing to do,
Yeah.
still do it after all.
I
of
hope
this,
this ending.
This is a
sorry,
great
sorry.
ending.
The ending was great to me. I thought it was just a true coming of age.
Animated, like
Watching,
it almost looks
this,
like a video game.
I think it was because of all the like different kind of lights.
he's, like,
It
swinging,
was just
like,
quick.
on
Yeah,
the
it was too
bottom
quick.
of it,
It was just a little
yeah.
too quick.
But my favorite thing about this trilogy now, it's like I feel like this whole trilogy is really like Spider-Man's origin story almost.
Yeah.
So this
Like-
is something I wanted to. I brought up with Nick.
Which is
or
going to
no,
start
and
his
you as
next
well, right.
trilogy. Which is
I feel like this trilogy
already been talked about.
was basically the Spidey trilogy,
Yeah.
and Spidey, there's a comic line of Spidey in which he's basically like a teen, he's still in high school, he's learning, and this is like his growth. This was the Spidey trilogy, and it has been revealed that there is going to be another trilogy for Spider-Man, so I feel like the next trilogy that we're going to be getting is the Spider-Man trilogy, you know what I mean? We got the Spidey trilogy, now we're the Spider-Man trilogy, where he's like fully matured, he's, reached a level where he's like up there
look
in
at the
college. So I think
I
that's
hope
how
he
it's gonna
does. I hope he tries to find a newfound
That's great.
respect for being Spider-Man because he was stuck in that like I don't want this. Like I just want a normal life, and I'm like, dude, like you have something that people would kill for.
Well, and
you
like
need
this
to
is
start
him
respecting that.
choosing that now because he like threw like all of his like Peter Parker life away now, and like now he's like Spider-Man. Like he's now Spider-Man.
Well, that's the other part that I was like, kind of like, damn, like, it sucks that he has to go through that.
Right,
Do I
of course.
wish he had given them a choice? Of course.
Yeah.
I think everybody deserves a
Everybody
choice.
deserves
You can't
it,
just play
yeah.
God at certain points. But I hope he finds a newfound respect for the gift that he has. One thing that always bothered me was when people in like these superhero movies or any type of movies are like I just want a normal life. It's like I have the girl now. I have the thing. Like I want. And it's like, dude, like you got this girl because of what you have, like because of what you're in. So like I hope he finds a newfound respect for it. Like brings it up to another level.
All right, and then again, that was the ending. We see the suit. We see him downtown in New York by the Rockefeller tree, which is something that we've seen and has been teased in the Hawkeye finale. So, what are the odds that we're going to see Spider-Man in this? What are you guys thinking?
I think
I'm
it's
feeling
pretty high.
I think it's low.
Do we think?
Ooh, yeah?
All right. Do we think
I
that
think
we
it's
see
low
him
too,
just
honestly.
swinging?
And I would say if he is coming
I
out,
could
I
see
think
him
it's
just
Do you
a
think
swing.
he's going to
I
fight?
think-
Just
No.
swinging, you think? You think just swinging?
I
He's
think
not
if
gonna-
anybody's
he's
gonna
just
fight,
swinging.
I think
I don't
I
think he'll
think,
fight.
I think if anybody's gonna come out in a different area and fight, it'll be Daredevil more than him, because obviously Kingpin is a part of this whole situation now
Of
with
course, right.
the end of Hawkeye.
And which is a huge villain for Spider-Man, though.
But
so
yeah,
that's the hard part.
So I
Yeah.
think maybe it'll just be like something small. Like if he does, I think the odds are low. But I think if he does do anything, it'll be like he just kind of like swings or like you see him on top of it
Yeah.
You
somewhere.
too?
Yeah, I think it's more along the lines of that.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I don't mind. Yeah,
Like
that's
if
perfectly
if
okay with
someone's
me.
gonna fight, I think it's gonna be Daredevil.
Yes.
And I
that's
feel
how
like,
completely
so,
agree.
and I feel like this is leading to the perfect trio because for these three, this has always been one of their biggest villain is Daredevil, Punisher, and Spider-Man. They always fight Kingpin, dude. That's always been their main villain. So, I mean, it's up in the air. We could. I mean, it's very sketchy, I understand that.
Yeah.
But
We will know
there
in a
is a
couple hours,
possibility.
though.
We'll know in a couple
We'll
of
know.
hours.
Not to
couple hours.
mention, we did also skip over the fact that they teased the Miles Morales because
that's
Electro
true.
did say there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's leading. You know, and especially now that we have the Spider-Man games, where the games are leading to both Peter and Miles in the same universe, helping each other out at the same time.
Yeah.
So I mean, fans wouldn't be shocked if we had both our Tom Holland and Miles Morales in the same universe.
Yeah.
I think it would work.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think it would.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they allowed
That'd
to
be
do
really
that though?
cool.
Absolutely.
'Cause
Why
I thought-
can't they? You know?
Yeah, why
Like,
not?
Because
I mean, for
I
the
thought
most
I
part,
thought
he
one
dies,
I
but-
thought one couldn't exist without the other.
Well,
I
not-
thought one.
I'm not sure
Not
how
in
the
the PlayStation
game
version.
works.
The PlayStation
Yeah.
version.
I'm not
it's
sure how
the
the
same.
game works, but since it's in his college years and that's when the game takes place, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's why it would happen there.
Mhm.
But it's just I don't
Who
know
knows?
how their stories
Okay.
collide.
Because
Because
I thought it was like that whole thing that like Spider-Man can't exist.
that's
with
how they
Miles
explain
Morales.
it in the Spider-Verse, right?
Something like that. That one
There's
can't
also the
exist with the other
Spider-Verse,
one. That like.
So I don't know.
So yeah, because I was thinking more or less
Okay.
on the lines like I think I would like if not Toby,
Tom.
Andrew Garfield got a little redemption and Miles came out in his version.
A
Yeah,
lot
that's
of people are asking
A
for
lot
that.
of people are
A lot
asking
of people are
for it.
asking
Because
for
and
that.
I said this
And then
earlier,
it would make sense because of the fact that he's going down a darker path. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if he were to die, like it would maybe.
Well,
be
that's what I was
justified
saying
since
is
he's
that
going
I
dark.
think it'd be
Yeah.
cool if they took him under like if maybe he into the Spider-Verse when Chris Pine's Spider-Man is like, whoa, you're just like me. That'd be cool if Andrew Garfield felt that same connection,
With
especially
Miles.
because Electro was like, there's got to be a black one out there somewhere. I'm sure there
and he said
is.
it to him, yeah.
And I think
Yeah,
it'd be cool
that's
if they,
true, yeah.
even if they made even a trilogy with him, it'd be cool if like the first one was just like a redemption movie for Garfield, and at the end Morales comes out. The second one is him training Morales, and then the third is like him passing the torch. Like
That'd be
obviously, like
sick.
he died.
That'd be
That's
I think that'd be
actually
That'd be really good. I guess
pretty good. Like
I could see it.
pretty good
falling
way to
that
like introduce him, but also do even more justice for our boy.
That's
Andrew
true, too.
Garfield.
That's
That's
very true.
true.
So, you know, especially
Because
nowadays,
people are
like,
loving
yeah.
Andrew Garfield right now.
Yeah.
But all right, so last little thing because we definitely have gone way over time. Let's go ahead
Hey,
and close
guys.
it off with our post-credit scene because the movie's over.
Okay. Yeah.
Go on.
Sure. But I do want to say, good job, guys. We passed our first 2-hour pod.
Yeah.
I know that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Joe
I think
Rogan
that makes
status.
us
Merry
Joe
Christmas.
Rogan.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all of us are Joe
Very
Rogan.
good, babe.
Yeah.
But all right, so the last scene we see Tom Hardy, aka Venom, in a bar in the middle of Mexico, or so we think. It's not really explicitly said. But he's asking basically a recap. It's like, all right, so there was a blip, there was a purple dude
There's
from
a purple
space,
guy,
and
but also a
like
green
there's
guy.
something happening, and green dudes, and something's going on. Turns out he gets sent back to his reality because, of course, everybody that's not in the reality has gotten sent back. But a piece of the Venom symbiote stayed behind at the bar. What do you guys feel about that? What do you think? It's gonna be. It has to play a big role in this next
Who's it
trilogy.
gonna latch on to?
I have
That's
a-
what I'm-
Do you
Good
think it's gonna
theory.
be? Do you think it's gonna be?
That's what I
What's his
wanna know.
name?
Flash.
Eddie
Flash?
Brock?
No.
Or do you think it's
Fuck
gonna
no.
create an Eddie Brock in this? Current
I think it's going to
universe,
create
which
an
was
Eddie
one-
Brock
Yeah.
in this universe because it said hive knowledge across universes, so across. So that little symbiote piece knows who the Eddie Brock is in
his
that
universe,
universe. So he's probably going to latch on to that stupid bartender. The bartender's going to take a flight to like New York or LA or whatever
and then
where he is.
And then he does meet Brock in college as he's in college working for the Daily
Exactly,
Bugle.
and then
Yeah,
that'll
don't-
and I hope it's Tom Hardy in this universe
Really? You
too.
think so?
I hope,
You hope so?
and I hope that he's a badass, and I hope that it's not
Just
just
a different
regular
version of
Venom. I hope it's Agent Venom. I want it to be Agent Venom.
That would be sick.
So
That would
bad.
be sick.
Just
That'd be
don't
very
give me
sick.
Flash. Like, don't give me Flash.
Yeah.
Like, I've had enough of that kid. He's a fucking penis.
And they
Like,
didn't
that's what he
redeem
is.
him at
He's
the end of
penis
this.
Parker.
You know, he was
Penis
still an
Parker.
asshole at
He's
the
still
end of
an
this, so
asshole,
don't
like-
give it to him. You know,
Yeah,
or,
and-
unless they redeem him through this next few movies.
But it can. That kid's far from
I
redeeming.
don't know.
You give that kid the symbiote, I guarantee you, it's not gonna go the right way.
Yeah.
It's
All
not
right,
gonna go
and
the
so
right way.
final end credit scene before we end the podcast with our question and stuff like that and our homework. So we got and actually it felt like, which literally pretty much was, a trailer for
Trailer,
Doctor
yeah.
Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We see Mordo. We see our last villain, which I forget his name, with
Evil Doctor
long
Strange.
hair. We see and a huge reveal, evil Doctor Strange
Yes.
towards the end of it. And not only that, Dr. Palmer is also getting married. So, I think that might lead into the fact of Doctor Strange coming in. You
With
know,
Wanda,
with the
too.
fact that he
Wanda
couldn't
was
have her. You know, he couldn't be with her.
And
That's
then
his big
this
issue.
this
And
one
Wanda, we
has
see
a lot of
help with
Raimi
Wanda.
shots too.
We see a lot of
Yeah.
and this is
already can
once again
tell.
this is directed by Raimi.
Raimi.
You know, so very interesting to see this, and
And if
very interesting that he's gonna actually bring in Dark Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, I can't remember.
From What If.
I think Wanda is, but isn't Doctor Strange also just like an absolute point in like the universe? Because Wanda is for sure. I think she's like nothing to change about her.
What they call it, a sentient being, or no, not sentient being. Oh man, I can't think of the word right now. Almost. But like, yeah, like they're the same across universes. So like, Doctor Strange is, Wanda is
like a beacon, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Doctor Strange, Wanda,
like
all of them.
That it's like there's variants, but like they're all the same.
And they may be answering a what if question because what if we got Doctor Strange trying to do whatever he could to keep Christine, and it looks like this dude might have done the same.
That's why it makes me think like something might be involved with that still, or at least her, because of the fact that they showed her getting married in the trailer. That's kind of a big deal. So it's the one thing that Doctor Strange could not have.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense that he would be upset about it. But I mean, there's got to be more to it. It can't be that simple, of course.
Yeah.
But how do we feel about it? I was very excited. It looked good.
Very
excited. Twisty. Very good visuals. Very turny on the camera as well. A lot of focus on Mordo as well, which it seems to be the main element of this.
This is supposed to be kind of like not a scary movie, but like kind of like give you like.
They said it was like a horror movie.
I was getting those vibes a little bit. Like this is just a teaser.
Massive step for
spooky wizard
for Marvel because Marvel's got the basic hero, villain, hero finds a way to win, good people go home. This looks different. This is very different. So I'm excited for it. I think people are now going to see a good extent of how, not only just like we've already known how important Doctor Strange has been throughout the multiverse, but how actually important he really is to everything, even though he came in so late for the MCU. So I'm pretty excited for this. This is going to get, I think, be one of the best movies of next year.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
100% agree.
I think it's gonna be great, and especially with the reveal of Dark Doctor Strange. I was not expecting them to take that, especially because like I felt like What If was very kind of still kind of on the side thing. They did mention it was gonna affect the main MCU, but it always felt like at least kind of a background.
Like
yeah. But the fact that they actually pulled a very huge character from that show, and he is gonna be like in person, like doing and wreaking havoc. That's crazy.
And please understand that like if you didn't watch What If, and even if you did and forgot, this Doctor Strange, the evil Doctor Strange, is way more fucking powerful than ours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Way more. He pulls power from the dark dimension, from all these different dimensions.
And
it's crazy.
But also trying to take this Doctor Strange powers too.
That's what we don't know.
That's what I'm trying.
I guess we'll find out.
But I love that. I love that. Like the animation and stuff. It just goes to show that everything that Marvel is coming out with currently is a must-watch. Like at this point, because everything is starting to really overlap against each other. It just goes to show you got to watch it because you're going to be missing out on why this is connected here. Why this person's showing up?
Because it's about to get very confusing.
Very crazy. Exactly. Especially with the multiverse. It's going to
watch WandaVision.
If you don't keep up, it's about to get very confusing.
Very, yes. Alrighty, woo! So that's it, right? Anything else? Final. Let's
juicy.
go. Let's go with the final rate, and then homework question. We're out of here. All right. So final rate for Spider-Man: No Way Home. Matt, start off with the man with the Spider-Man tattoo.
I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so maybe my score might be a little biased, but I don't care because I love this movie, and I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. It gave me everything I was expecting. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 9.7. I love this movie. And I'm gonna probably watch it again.
Easily.
Yeah.
All together, of course.
For me, let's see. I thought it was a really great movie. For sure, they hit the hype right where they needed to, or else it would have been probably a failure. So I give them that. I would probably rate this somewhere, I'm going to go 88, 89. This is 4th on my Marvel mashup movies. Of course, Infinity War is still king for me. Then I put Endgame, Civil War 2 and 3. So this lands at 4th, and there's a couple minor things, but nothing big. They did really good, so I'm going to leave it right there.
All right. For me, this is the best Spider-Man movie of like everything that they've done.
Do you include that in
Tobey Maguire,
Into the Spider-Verse or no?
Into the Spider-Verse.
You include that? Okay.
Into the Spider-Verse, Andrew Garfield, Tommy Holland. I'm including all of them. I think this is the best one. It's got it all. It's got the mashup. It's got the hype. It's got the emotion, the character development. You can keep going. It's got it all. So with that being said, I'm gonna put this one up there. I'm gonna go 9.7 too.
Wow.
The birth year.
Yeah. So for me, I actually agree with John in the sense that this is the best Spider-Man movie. A lot of people out there are still like, no, Into Spider-Verse is infinitely better. No, this was live action. It's so much harder to do this live action.
Yeah, it's so much harder to do this live action.
And with a standalone, which I get it's not a standalone now, it has a sequel and presumably another movie after that. But because it was a standalone, you could have done whatever you wanted with it, you know? So, like, you couldn't do that with this.
Yeah.
So, you know,
the
this
things that
is
this
king.
want to accomplish and try to achieve, and by doing it's way harder.
Absolutely.
And
I
also
completely
go by
agree.
a continued story, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my rating, still under Infinity War. I have Infinity War at a 9.6. This is going to fall at a 9.3 for me.
Okay.
It's not because of the cheesy lines or anything like that. Like, it's just Infinity War was completely perfect. Like, in terms of a Marvel movie, it was perfect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was...
Oh, dude, for sure, yeah.
It was, I mean, like, it on the Marvel movie list, it was a 10. But, like, in terms of just total cinema in general, it's a 9.7. I'll never give... I can't imagine me ever giving anything a 10. Because that means I'll never see anything better. Yeah. Production B?
You want to give a quick rate?
Production B?
9.7. Perfect movie. I've watched it 4 times already since it came out.
Oh,
Jesus,
my God.
4?
That's after 4 times. And
Yeah.
still a
Yeah.
9.7. Just
So-
a trooper.
Also, if you're going to the movies to watch it again, wear your fucking mask. I'm sorry. A lot of my coworkers are sick.
Oh.
We saw
dang.
10,000 plus guests every single day since Thursday.
That's
Thursday was
crazy.
the worst one. And
Thursday
I
was the
wanna
worst.
was the worst day. Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
But,
my
um,
God.
I want to say out of that many people at the movies, unless you're vaccinated, then you're clear, whatever. But it's just like, probably out of that many people that went, like more than 3/4 of them, maybe like 4/5 were unmasked.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Coughing on us, yelling at us, going over our counters and
Hey,
everything.
be nice to your
Yeah, I
movie
know.
world.
Be nice to the movie people.
Appreciate
I don't like
that.
to hear
They're
those
miserable,
stories.
bro.
Come on.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Good movie.
They're doing a service.
But now my final rate, man, dude. Let me tell you something. Like this for me genuinely brought up a ton of nostalgia, especially because, let me explain this. So as a kid, that Spider-Man was my first superhero. As you know, for many kids growing up, you know, Spider-Man is one of the easiest and most well known. But as a kid, he was the first one that I saw on the big screen. You know, Tobey Maguire was my Spider-Man growing up. You know, so I have a lot of heartfelt emotion towards that. And that being said, this movie not only was a great ending for a trilogy, but it managed to make or improve older movies, which is something that's extremely hard to do. And not only that, but it's something that, like, not necessarily, like, in a weird way, did change their universes.
But it almost contextualizes them.
Exactly. It recontextualizes it in a way that, like, is up to our current standards.
Yeah.
Which is
Which
something
is
that's
insane.
hard, dude. How the hell do you do that?
It was like giving them an update.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
like for a movie.
It's already, like, you know, hell as it is to do this in a sort of animated version with different Spider-Man, you know, in Spider-Verse, which is crazy with a new person. But this is with established people that we've seen years ago. You know, people that have their own mannerisms as this character already, that have already established themselves as these characters. And to think that they nailed all of these parts so well, to have such an emotional impact throughout the movie. I was very much on my seat the whole time. You know, I was very curious what's gonna happen. You know, is May actually gonna die? You know, like all of these things were going through my head, and it really did invoke a lot of emotion for me as well. You know, on that aspect, aside from the nostalgia that I was feeling that when, you know, I exploded when I saw Tobey on the screen, dude, you know? Because, like, I mean, as a kid, I played the old PS2 Spider-Man, you know? Like, I played the old games, you know? So, like,
Spider-Man 2,
the second you see him on the screen, dude, like,
pizza mission.
I literally blew up, you know? And I couldn't help but feel all these emotions just because of the fact that they genuinely worked their asses off to make sure that every fan, you know, for the most part, was, like, could give it a thumbs up, you know? At least from one angle, every fan of Spider-Man can at least go, all right, cool. Like, I like it, you know? You know, maybe not as a whole, but at least something. That being said, man, this is such an insane and monumental task to not only do that, but now through this movie, they're even bridging the Netflix and the other series. So this is like something monumental, dude. It's insane, and all of the hype, well deserved, of course, like towards the end.
And it had a lot of hype.
And again, it didn't oversell and it didn't under. Like it was just right on the mark. Right. And on top of that, the reveals were so great. Like everybody was so perfect. The acting was well done. Everybody was great, dude. I don't know. That being said, I want to give it a 9.8. I feel like this movie was, again, it relates to, like, you know, and I'm giving it so high, you know, on a side basis. Like it hits my nostalgia.
Like, it's something generational, though.
Exactly, you know, and everybody can relate to this Spider-Man. And I feel
you don't get a movie like that very often.
That's the thing, you know, that's why this movie is so different than other movies, is that so many different generations can see this and relate to it, whether you're a kid, whether you're, you know, like, in your teen years, or whether you're like us that grew up with the old-ass bitch of a Spider-Man, Tobey, which is great still, by the way.
It's still great.
He's great. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But for a single movie to have all of this power is unreal, and I can't help but give it a 9.8.
It's just so cool, because you guys grew up with Tobey, right?
Oh, and I love, and don't get me wrong, I agree with you that Infinity War is unreal, but I didn't grow up knowing the Avengers as much as I knew Spider-Man. I knew Spider-Man, you know, like the Avengers, Cap was cool, Iron Man, like I knew some of them, right? But I knew Spider-Man, you know, like Spider-Man was my guy.
Yeah,
so I can't help it.
That was our guy, like, coming up as kids, because like back then, like the Avengers weren't as popular as they are now. Like Captain America wasn't as popular as he was like back then, because back then, like Captain America was like a C-list character, and it's like they brought him back from the grave to being this like S-tier like character now in comics, the movies, games, and everything.
Yeah, but like touching up, like you said though, like it's very good generational though, because like I did grow up with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's, but his Spider-Man never like stuck to me, if that makes sense. So it wasn't something that I was like, brush off. But it was something where it was like, it was good, but like there's definitely gonna be better. And I'm glad that Tom Holland came along and Andrew Garfield came along, because I think they captured better Spider-Man aspects.
Yeah.
But even then, what a monumental task, and that's why I said 9.8, because dude, that's hard, insanely, incredibly hard, and they nailed it. You know, they nailed almost every aspect of it, which is crazy.
Almost expected, because I mean, let's be real, they had a massive platform.
It's hard, dude.
They had a massive platform, and with the directors they have some of the best ever.
Had a good team.
So I expected nothing short of what they did.
And I'm very happy as well, and all of us can agree, we all didn't get it spoiled, and that was such a great feeling. Had it did gotten spoiled,
I know,
because I still was going in there. It's like, man, like, are we gonna see them pop up? Are we not gonna see them? It's like, is this still gonna happen?
Yeah, I still had this hint of like hesitancy. Like,
well, I thought it was gonna be undersold, where it was just gonna be like they're just gonna show up for the last fight and then like they weren't even gonna like do that, or just like once and like 8 later, you know. But they did it so
But they were like a part of the movie though.
Exactly.
Yeah. We saw them for a lot. Like it felt like probably like 40 minutes. Like probably like the last 40 minutes.
Beautiful.
They were there. They were like characters. They had
and
dialogue.
They were themselves exactly as they were a long time ago.
And that's so crazy
that was
and cool.
Such a perfect nail on the head, like performance-wise for both of
all
them.
Yeah.
They grabbed their old Spider-Mans and they just went straight back.
And like a part of me was thinking like that like Tobey doesn't want to like do that anymore, that like that's like that's in his past, and like I don't know, like I just felt like Tobey's the kind of guy that was like, nah, come on, like I don't want to do that.
I also love that
stuff for that.
And then he even had those small lines where he was like, where they were asking about like, you got a girl, and he's like, yeah, you know, I got one. He's like, nah, I don't. He's like, I guess it's just not in the cards for guys like us, huh? And then Tobey goes, well, just give it a minute.
That like kind of like
but
veteran Spidey advice.
Grandpa Spidey, very like
that's another throw at like how much like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man goes through and how like lonely that we last saw him.
It would be great to see
nobody, and he's just been going around.
That's
just being
just being the brakes off of guys. It sounds like because they're not pulling punches anymore.
But that's it. Any final thoughts? I think we covered literally everything here.
I think we
got
it.
That movie was monumental, unreal for each and every one of us.
We had to give it the time.
Great.
Which is your Spider-Man?
Mine is still Tom Holland.
It's Tom Holland.
Because without Tom Holland, we don't even get this.
But that's a crazy thing. Because like, okay, well, I have a lot of younger siblings. Like, I'm talking like under 10 years old. Okay. My sister grew up with Tom Holland as Spider-Man. She loves him. I showed her the Andrew Garfield and I showed her Tobey Maguire. She's like, who are these old guys? Like, grandpas. And you know, like she watched a little bit of Spider-Man 3 with me, and she was just kind of like, okay, he might be cool, but he still looks old.
Yeah.
Oh, he's old since Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
It's just like,
But for sure, Tom Holland.
It's such a cross.
I think Tom Holland is the best again because like we've all said where he's a good mix of both. But I personally like Toby, dude.
But it's cool though because
Yeah,
it's
they're
like
all great.
Well,
All
see, like
right,
grew up with Toby,
but
and
that's
then
good,
like in our like teenage years, it was Garfield, and then now to tie it all together, it's Tommy Holland, man.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good.
So
That,
it's
like
cool
for
that
you,
we get
it's
a
like your
piece.
nostalgia factor.
Yeah,
That's
of
why
course.
he's your favorite.
Mhm.
For me, like he's very nostalgic for me, but he's not my favorite because I just didn't think he was that great of a Spider-Man. He was a great Peter Parker, but he was a great Spider-Man. Vice versa with Andrew Garfield. Whereas Tom Holland, you get that perfect mix, and that's where I think like, okay, even though I didn't grow up with Tom Holland Spider-Man, I understand him a lot more.
And you need both.
Exactly.
You need both because
You really do. Yeah, honestly.
girls want Peter Parker. Or no, damn it, I messed
Ah,
up. Girls want Spider-Man, but they walk by Peter Parker.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And I don't think
What's
Tommy
your favorite?
Holland ever said been reading poetry like.
Yeah, it's tough because
Cringe.
every time I see Toby's, I get that nostalgia factor just hit
Yeah.
me.
Especially
but
with the score, the music.
yeah, the score and the
Great.
music,
He
I
has great
think,
music.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just
So
love them
heroic,
all, dude.
yeah.
Honestly.
yeah, I'd say Tom is my
All of
favorite.
them is really good, but like I'm gonna go with like Andrew Garfield because I used to get so much shit for like things like, yo, did you guys see those movies? Like that was a crazy Spider-Man movie. Like Andrew Garfield though, he's like, but he's like too cool, and he's like, which he is. He's too cool of a Peter Parker, but he's a great Spider-Man, man.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
fought just like comic book Spider-Man, and it was like in both movies, killed Spider-Man. Peter Parker was a little rough. Like I'll definitely give him that, but like it was cool to see him in this movie, and like seeing those movies for the first time, like I think definitely Garfield is probably the favorite for me. But Tommy Holland, man, great. Just like
Perfect.
that doesn't take anything away from him.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
he's still
yeah.
the best Spider-Man. He's still the best Spider-Man.
And we also have to like admit too is that like yes, this movie was like really really great, but it also did have like a massive platform too. I mean, without Tobey Maguire's Spider-Mans and even failures like Spider-Man 3
Paving
for
the way.
fuck's sakes,
Yeah,
it paved the way for
my
Tom.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield taking all that heat was still able to bring this in. And as much as I do admit Tom Holland's my favorite Spider-Man, I gotta hand it to his parents. Cap and Iron Man. Without them, this universe doesn't exist.
Daddy and Daddy, man.
Without
Yeah, Daddy,
Favreau
Daddy.
being the genius he is and passing up on to make Doctor Strange first, which should have been, and making Iron Man first, Tom Holland has already given a great platform to be introduced.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
I mean, it all just kind of ties in.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. All right. Woo, so that's
You
it
got
for
it.
Spider-Man No Way Home. So let's go ahead and get our homework for next week. Final question. We're out of here. All right, so
All
what's
right,
going to be our
homework
holiday theme?
is going to be Papo Gijo.
Oh!
Santa Claus
Tim
is coming to
Allen's
town?
Santa Claus.
Oh,
yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
Classic.
That's actually a good one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
The
the
first one.
Santa
The-
Claus.
Thank God
Santa
you just
Claus.
did the first one.
Yeah. The Santa Claus. Interesting
Yeah,
movie. I haven't
we
seen
don't
that
wanna,
in
complete
a
the
long
trilogy?
time.
No.
You seen that?
No, just the first one.
Oh God, I don't
First
like
one's
the
great.
third one.
The third one's weird with Jack Frost.
Yeah, no, I'm not okay with that one.
Second one's also weird with all the dolls.
Yeah.
No, yeah, first one.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Nice.
Question?
Let's see. Let's get a couple. Okay, first off, it is going to be Christmas by the time the next one comes out. So, what are your Christmas wishes this year? What do you want? Overall peace? Do you want, overall...
World peace.
You know, do you
Or
want
an
this whole
Xbox.
pandemic? Do you
Or-
want an
Or-
Xbox?
Or do you
PS5?
want the Xbox Series X?
PS5?
The Master Chief Edition.
Yeah.
Or do you want your football team to
The
make
Whataburger
playoffs? Because
edition.
Or the
Ooh,
Whataburger Edition.
Yeah. What is your
I
Christmas
don't.
wish?
I
Let
have
us
serious
know.
beef with fucking Whataburger right now. They've been making
Yeah.
me sick to my stomach.
But weren't you drunk,
Literally.
though, when you threw up?
The first time.
Oh,
The
see,
second time it
That's
wasn't.
not really
Yeah,
Whataburger.
It was just taste.
That's definitely
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, but they were there.
Yeah, but that
They were
wasn't the
there.
reason why.
Yeah, but they're a component.
Anyways.
I'm not letting it go.
Let's move on though. What is your Christmas wish? What do you wish upon this Christmas? If you have any type of problems or anything, for sure. We're great dudes. We'd love to hit it up with you guys, and do as best as we can. Some of us are very religious and go to church every week.
Ooh.
Oh.
So if you
If
guys,
if you want an Xbox, we can't get you.
if you guys want,
No,
any
we
type
can't.
of
Yeah, we
prayers-
can't get you that at all.
Any
Some
type
prayers,
of prayers,
yeah,
any type of
yeah,
anything you guys
yeah.
need, let us know. We would be glad to send the big guy upstairs a couple things. But everybody have a safe Christmas.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
what do you
that-
think of Spider-Man, you know?
Hey, what do you guys think?
And what do you guys think of Hawkeye?
Since this is after our Spider-Man talk, which one's your favorite?
Which is your favorite Spider-Man?
What's the best
Yeah.
one?
Alrighty, you guys heard it. Which one's your favorite Spider-Man, and what do you want for Christmas?
Yeah, just being
Yeah.
super wholesome.
Alrighty, so that is gonna go ahead and close us off for a very holiday and Spider-Man themed episode of the BuzzBoys.
Very long episode. But
So that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa,
Happy Kwanzaa.
whatever you're celebrating.
Right.
Happy Holidays. Hope you enjoy your time
Merry
these
Christmas.
cold few weeks.
Yes.
And have a safe
Depending
one.
where you're
Other
at.
than that,
Yeah.
thank you all so much for this monumental episode, and thank you so much for joining us for all the buzz and the boys talk.
Oh,
Hey.
oh.
Bye,
Merry Christmas!
everybody.
We love you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.